Welcome back to Derailed. I am your humble host, JJ Lahey, here with my co-host and partner in crime, Mr. Jake Schyvinck. Jake, how are you, my friend?
I am good. We've got, a little over, we got 6 weeks, 5 weeks until the draft. So there's plenty to talk about on that end. And obviously there's plenty to talk about in the Packers world of things in terms of a couple things going on today. In terms of a pro day visit and a signing, that makes you wonder if it's a this is it signing. But we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Let's do the pro day visit first. People are still starting to filter into the chat, and I'd like to be able to get input from people in the chat if they have thoughts on it. Oh gosh, look at this from Aaron Timothy, however you say that.
Yeah.
Too old for this. Changed his name.
He did.
This is horrible.
He did change it.
Cancel the show. I get two pieces of bad news in one day. One is that Too Old for This said he's not going to be actually here during the whole live stream because of some kind of a work thing, whatever. I'm just furious about this. And then he changed his name on YouTube. Dude, you got to change it back. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. So anyways, let's talk about the pro day visit.
All right, let's do that.
So I'm assuming you're talking about Oregon, where there's a boatload of guys over there that we really like, but obviously I think our eyes are mostly on Derek Hardman with a little bit of
Tez Johnson,
Jordan Birch as well. What name did you say?
I said Tez Johnson.
Tez Johnson, Dylan Gabriel. Yeah,
we just signed Tez Johnson. Haven't you heard?
Yeah.
So,
no. I feel like I'm a bigger Jordan Birch fan than you are. Do you agree with that?
Well, where are you? Here's my question: what do you view him as in Green Bay's defense?
Well, honestly, kind of like a Carl Brooks type. A guy who can play outside or kind of inside in a pinch. I'd like to see a little more versatile usage out of Carl Brooks because I think he can do it. But like for me, I see in Jordan Birch just like a better version of Carl Brooks, which is saying something because I'm like the captain of the Carl Brooks
that's big
fan club over here. Yeah.
I expect to see Jordan Birch way high in the rankings when when all that goes down. So the one thing, Birch comes into the combine at 279. Obviously cutting weight probably to test better, of course. Was listed around 6'6", 290 at Oregon. Obviously it's 6'4" and an eighth, I think. So yeah, maybe he could be thrown down at 3 tech a little bit, or just more of like the, doesn't really work because it's not the same defense, but the NASCAR type of look where you get some athletes on the field on third down pressure looks, and he could do some of that. I don't know what Wooden's playing at, I guess, to what he's playing at because he's moving around. I know as you said, Brooks has moved around. He has played some 1 tech. Brooks has a little bit. It was weird, but he did do it. So with Birch, I just wonder if he's. This is the thing. More people need to ask this at the combine because you measure, right? But it's like, okay, but like seriously, what did you play at? Like what weight did you play at during the season? Because I think it gives you a good, kind of a good barometer as to like, okay, like, you're playing at 285 during the season. That to me says, okay, we can get you, to play some 3 tech snaps as well as edge, 5 tech, 7 tech, whatever you want to call it. But if he's always played at sub 280, makes me think that Green Bay might go, yeah, let's cut a few more pounds and just play edge completely. Now I will say,
and that's totally the question is which way is Green Bay going to kind of force him to go? Because some guys, their body just wants to be a little bigger, and it's hard to keep that off. and they're still at a healthy playing weight. But that means you got to
yeah.
adjust your usage and treat him a little bit more like a Carl Brooks. You know, the fact that he came in at 279, that makes me wonder, can he stay at 279? You know, he is a bit of a taller guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, sure, there's 6'6" edge rushers out there. And
Well, he was 6'4" at the combine. Yeah.
6'4" and a quarter, yeah. But I mean, he checks all the boxes that the Packers are looking for. It kind of a little bit fringe there on the arm length, a little bit shorter arms, but certainly not outside, you know, what you need. The only I guess point of concern that I have for him at all was that this past year for Oregon, although I thought he played really well down to down, the counting stats just were not there. He was making just one, you know, what I call impact play per game or per every 3 games. So that would be a sack, forced fumble, tackle for loss. So he's only do that one every 3 games this past season. But that's the only, you know, point of concern I have for him. And he was, you know, very productive, a little bit older, 23 and a half.
Okay. But,
you know, really solid tackler. He had a 4% miss rate, which I think might be the best in this entire class.
That's crazy.
I got somebody at 3.2. Who's that? Elijah Ponder out of Cal Poly. So, you know, the Cal Poly guy pushing Jordan Birch here in the missed tackle department. He's just a phenomenal player. 13% pressure rate. Just nothing to be disappointed with at all. Really, I mean, just prototypical, like, second round Packer crush for me is where I got Jordan Birch.
Yeah, he is incredibly athletic, like on the field. And so when you see like all the power in the pop in the hands that you got, like when Oregon's asking him to hold a gap, to hold a singular gap, like he is dropping anchor, playing with great leverage, and like he has enough power to get off blocks, and that's really impressive when you're playing him at, you know, some 3 tech 4 eye stuff when Oregon was doing that. So yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of, to me, in that like more reasonable range where I draft a player without, as you said, the impact plays production, where you're betting on the athletic traits rather than betting on a couple guys like that in the first round who have been linked to Green Bay and been in the mock drafts, you know, all off season long. So I think I like that better than some of these early round swings that Green Bay has traditionally taken. I wouldn't be mad at that. But yes, my sole focus on this is Hardman. I wish Jabbar Muhammad was big enough. I really do, because he is awesome playing. You know, he will be awesome playing nickel corner. Feels like very much an Ardarius Washington situation with him, where it's like, oh yeah, he's small, but like he's good, and it could be a UDFA situation, and like Ardarius Washington, and he goes in, and Washington's now doing some pretty good things with Baltimore in the secondary. So it would be cool if it was that. But yeah, I mean Hardman's, you know, the guy when you're talking about that group. And I will say, Jamari Caldwell thought he was around 340, comes in at 332 at the combine. If Green Bay wants to look at one tech at all, if they didn't like, you know, or they just, again, they let Slayton go, which I don't think it was necessarily necessary to bring him back, right? You're going to get a one tech in this draft for cheaper, no matter where you pick him. So if they're looking that direction at all, then I think he could definitely pop up a little bit as well in the mid rounds, right? But again, that's assuming Green Bay is in on, you know, the one techs in this class.
So I do want to come back to this, but we have some burnings in the chat here. And add I want to, but before we touch on that, I got to hit Tyler Dershell's comment, his question. He says, sorry I'm late. Is the show sponsored yet? And to that I have to say, Welcome to our new channel sponsor. The Derailed podcast is brought to you by Tyler Dershel, the one and only.
Nice.
Yeah, still, yeah. You may notice I'm drinking my trademark energy drink out of my Buckeyes cup today. This is a bargaining chip, trying to get the company that shall not be named to start feeling the pinch and go, ooh, he's not even putting the can on screen anymore with like the logo blurred out or covered up with his fingers anymore. I guess we really need to step up our NIL game for the podcast scene. So Dershel says, this is my peak. I'll never get higher. You're darn right it's your peak. Speaking of which, where did I put my phone? I need it. Here it is. I need to have this handy.
Brian, I don't know what these mean.
So I can see. I need to be able to see if the. I got to remove this so I can see what Brian's putting on there. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's just a
never heard of that.
Redacted emoji. Redacted emoji. But I had to have my phone handy so I can see if people start sponsoring some mock drafts. I did put the.
That's crazy. Honestly, if someone donates 100, not necessary.
It doesn't say 100.
No,
it doesn't say 100.
I know, but what 100 would mean is 10 mock drafts. And so, like, if you do that, you're a sicko. That's really cool. We would have to start right away. It would be very hilarious.
I kind of feel sick about the thought of it. Have to do that. But I'm trying to figure out if it's like.
That would be genuinely hilarious and
very, like a nervous sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be like, we got to sit here and do 10 of them. Now, I mean, that could be good for this channel, right? Clip those, put the mock drafts only together, and just publish them as regular videos, and then you might be off and running. So I don't mind.
Brian Mafia wants to know what 100 pennies will get him. I think 100 pennies gets you a first round mock for just the Packers. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a first round mock for just the Packers.
Derek Hardman. Done. Right.
200 pennies gets you a first round mock with trades. All right. We got a Jets fan in the chat here. He says, be careful with Benedict Hardman. He tipped our plays versus the Eagles 2 years ago. You'd think LaFleur would have asked Sal and MO on him. I guess I kind of remember this a little bit.
Yep.
Just vaguely. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask ChatGPT to remind me what happened. With Mecole Hardman tipping plays to the Eagles.
Here's what I will say.
In 2024, allegations surfaced suggesting that Mecole Hardman had leaked the Jets' offensive game plans to opponents, specifically before games against the Chiefs and Eagles. Sauce Gardner implied such actions in a since-deleted social media post. Hardman vehemently denied these accusations, stating on social media, quote, there were false allegations made about me and my character. To set the record straight, I have never and would never leak game plans to another team. Despite the allegations, no concrete evidence was publicly presented to substantiate the claims that Hardman leaked game plans. NFL did not announce any formal investigation into the matter. The situation did not result in any disciplinary actions. So there you go. Brian Murphy says, ask Grok. I already asked one robot. Why do I have to ask two? Fine, I'll ask Grok. Grok is not my least favorite robot out there. My least favorite would be Gemini, but I don't really ever find Grok that useful. I'm not going to read all this. Holy crap, this is long.
Mecole Hardman is I believe just 27. And obviously Green Bay's wide receiver room now has a ring, which it did not have previously. That's always nice. But
hey, that makes two players on the roster because of our freaking long snapper who's horrible.
Really?
Yeah, Warzek has a ring from his time with the Rams.
Oh, well, there you go. I wonder if well, two things on the Hardman thing, since we're moving that direction now. I do think this is going to take Reed off of punt returns, which is a good thing, honestly. And two, I think that you're going to get more of Hardman being a guy involved in all the jet sweep, gadget touch plays, and maybe just let Jaden Reed just do more of the running some of the big boy routes, even if it's from the slot or not, or condensed formations. Like, you just let Reed do more of the wide receiver things and let Hardman do more of the Deebo Samuel, Cordell Patterson type of thing. So
I will say, not that like anybody out there is like, the biggest, Mecole Hardman fan. But I think that if they had not signed Hardman right before we went live, there's a good chance you would have gotten a rant from me about how the Packers offseason has gone so far.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty frustrated,
All right,
that something like this Hardman signing hadn't happened. That, plan A seems to be, let's just hope that Christian Watson's healthy. Or maybe LaFleur is changing his offense. I don't know. So, I'm glad they made this move. And, okay, no, not crazy excited about Hardman's talent as like a elite wide receiver one football player. That's not what we're looking for, though. We're looking for somebody to replace the speed threat that LaFleur keeps insisting he needs in his offense. Because I'm tired of, hey, we put up 3 points in a game and LaFleur goes to the podium and says, like, well, what are you going to do? Christian Watson's hurt. Oh, darn. So, for that reason, I was on the record saying, sure, MVS is an acceptable option to play that role in 2025. Sure. And I don't see a big drop off from MVS to Mecole Hardman. Maybe even a slight upgrade. I don't know. They're basically the same player. In terms of their ability to fill that role in this offense. So I'm glad they made the move. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, Hardman's first 3 years, 500, 500, 600, nearly 700 yards receiving, which is honestly kind of surprising. 2019 draft, right? That was the, draft with DK, AJ Brown, Deebo, all that. And I believe Hardman I believe he was second round pick in that draft. So yeah, I mean, here's a fun question. Over under 13 receptions for 208.
Can you say that again? I was trying to understand
Sure.
Tyler Derschel's comment. Ask me again.
Over under 13 receptions for 208 yards for Mecole Hardman. And I'll tell you why I'm giving that exact number in a second. You might deduce it beforehand, but
yeah, so I would say I feel like
and chat also,
I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
What's your answer?
On both?
I'm gonna go slightly under on both.
Okay. I'm going to go under on receptions and over on yards.
Part of why I'm going slightly under on both is because health has kind of been one of his issues. So,
yeah.
So,
you know what? I'm all in. We're going over. I'm not,
okay.
I'm not going to fence sit. I'm not going to fence sit and hedge. I'm going to go over.
If he can stay healthy,
yeah.
then yeah, I think he's going over. He hasn't. I think he has not played a full season in a minute.
2021, actually, yeah, his first 3 seasons he played every game.
Okay, but then there's been 3 seasons since then where he's missed a ton of time.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
I was getting there. Yes.
So that would be my reason. Is that the point you were trying to make?
No, the point I was trying to make is that exact stat line was Sammy Watkins' tenure in Green Bay. as far as the
okay.
over-unders go. So that's why I was bringing those numbers specifically.
I'm a little surprised that Monsieur Sammy was that productive.
I mean, it's not a lot. Sorry, 206.
No, but
sorry, 206, not 208. 206. Did not score, though. Did not score. I feel really good about Mecole Hardman scoring one time. I feel good about.
I think he'll score it. I think he'll score at least once. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a touchdown in week 1 and then maybe is kind of quiet until week 7 or so and then pops off for a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised about that. That's like, one version of a season that I could see.
Yeah, if he has imagine the best case scenario is 4 touchdowns before Thanksgiving. It 100%, as you perfectly described it, it feels like I'm going to have one in week 1. Oh my gosh, fan base, here we go. Like they're going to lose their minds.
A la Geronimo Allison.
And we stand that name in this house, but
I'm realizing that there's like a prototype in my head in the Packers offense that I see Mecole Hardman slotting into. And it's a bit of a MVS mixed with Geronimo Allison. That's kind of what I'm seeing for Mecole this year.
Could be interesting. But yeah, I think you get the first week touchdown, and then you get touchdowns in week 7, week 9, week 10, something like that, where he gets hot midseason, and then we're so back, and then you won't hear much after that.
We got quite a few new faces in the chat here. Knucklehead Paul B says Mecole Hardman is better than Tyler Irving. Good old Tyler Irvin. Haven't heard that name in a minute.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
He was like our.
I was trying to think of
he was our gadget dude.
So.
Running back, slot receiver. Didn't he play some cornerback too? He was largely kick returner for us.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he play corner? Maybe.
He probably didn't.
But yeah, it could be a bit of that. But him taking over some of Reed's duties to let Reed play more wide receiver would be nice.
So let me ask you this: where do you see Romeo Doubs' involvement in the offense this year? Because with Hardman being out there, kind of doing some of the stuff that we assigned to Christian Watson, and no, I don't think that Christian Watson is on the same lower tier that Mecole Hardman and MVS are. I mean, it's a clear downgrade from Watson to Hardman, and I'm fine with that. We got Jaden Reed. I think is going to be pretty clearly, if he can step up and not play with his head up his butt, clearly wide receiver 1. It should be the assumption going into the season. You're hoping Tay Wicks gets back to the good version of Tay Wicks, and I think a lot of people are very much eyeing that cyclical every 2-year cycle that he's done his whole career, similar to Preston Smith. People are aware of that and are kind of expecting big year for Tay Wicks this year. So where do you see Romeo Doubs fitting in this season?
Well, I guess it depends. If you give Hardman more of the gadget looks and you bring him in on some early down looks for shot plays and maybe some third down stuff, because as I'm looking more at this, the yards per route run against man coverage is actually pretty decent when it comes to Hardman's last couple seasons. I still think you can. I still think you can rotate if they're going to do this. If they're going to play Reed more at Z with Watson out, it gives you the opportunity to flip flop X and slot between Doubs and Wicks, and I think I'm probably on Taywicks breakout year 3 train, and still will be, just because the separation is just too darn good. And if he just catches the dang ball, we are in prime position for a guy to potentially like almost take over as an X receiver. And maybe that allows, Dobbs to kind of, and I think Dobbs was still a guy who could win down the field at Nevada. Yeah. And like, if you give him some of those, because it seems like Dobbs dropped some silly passes right this past year, and he made some seriously tough plays. And so if he gets part of the shot play package downfield, right, and you give him more of those opportunities, he might cash in, because for some reason, again, he's like the golfer who just loves like terrible conditions and will like, yeah, no, I'm a mudder. I love playing in this. I hate the good weather. I don't like it. I like the bad weather. And so like that could be that's Dobbs almost at the catch point sometimes. So like,
so true.
So like if Dobbs is going to be like that player, it's like, okay, well, yeah, give him some shot plays if he's going to, be able to win some stuff going low, right, playing outside the frame a little bit, tight coverage, like, and convert. Give him maybe some looks at Z as well if you're going to keep reading the slot, right? I do think they have options, but I think you just, again, we're still on the like, yeah, this room still needs to take steps forward. And I think that could almost lead into my next question, which is, JJ, is this is it move for the wide receiver room?
I'm going to go yes. I'm honestly
okay.
So I think I've been a little bit melodramatic, pessimistic, and like fatalist this past week. So okay, a week ago on this pod, I kind of expressed my kind of about the Aaron Banks and Nate Hobbs signings, and and I think what I said last week, and I still stand by this. Maybe I didn't say it, but my pronunciation on those moves was like, each one in a vacuum, I could kind of, give a pass to and say, okay, I kind of get it. This is not Xavier McKinney. This is not Josh Jacobs. This is not Brandon McManus. This is more like Devondre Campbell, Rasul Douglas, without the Devondre Campbell, Rasul Douglas contracts, without the Josh Jacobs contract. I think one of our two guys, I can't remember, is either Hobbs or Banks, I think, was kind of structured like the Josh Jacobs contract, where I
think it's Hobbs. I'm pretty sure.
I think it is Hobbs, where it's like, so Jacobs was very clearly structured to where it was a 1-year deal with 3 team option years. Gave us the opportunity to get out after a year if 2023 Jacobs is who showed up in 2024. That's not what happened. So, Packers are happy to bring him back. I'm happy to bring him back. Pick up those team option years. Hooray, fantastic. And so with Banks and Hobbs, both might kind of, squint sideways and say, okay, I can kind of see the upside. I don't think that they've proven anything yet, and that's why I'm not. Yeah, thanks, Brian Muff. He says it is Hobbs.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brian.
That's why I'm not like geeked about the contract that we handed out to Banks, and I still feel like we gave a lot to Hobbs. Yeah. So, I was talking to somebody yesterday who was saying like, dude, you're so freaking negative. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's no free agency move that ever makes you happy. And I said, well, that's not true at all. A year ago, I was thrilled with Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs signings. I was thrilled when we signed Brandon McManus. As just the football player. All right,
right.
The human being aside, I was thrilled with the football player we got for the price.
Still kind of,
And like, okay, I've been on the record a bunch of times crapping over the process of the 2024 draft. I didn't like, but 2024 free agency was great. Loved it. I feel like we've kind of come through, prior to this Mecole Hardman signing, which, like, again, I recognize it's Mecole Hardman. It's not like a earth-shattering pickup here.
Yeah, no.
But prior to the Mecole Hardman signing, I would say I don't think that we had really done anything to make the team better than we were in 2024, right? Like, okay, essentially swapping out Josh Myers for Aaron Banks and paying Aaron Banks $1 billion more than Josh Myers. Do I feel like that makes the team better? No. Necessary move? Sure. Like, I don't want Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan being our only options at guard.
Right. Yeah.
So, no, I don't feel like we've done anything at this point to make the team better than it was in 2024. But also, I don't have a good explanation or good excuse for why we sucked in 2024. We were inexplicably bad at the end of the year. Yeah. So do I feel like we needed to go out and improve the roster? I guess I don't, because I felt like we had enough talent a year ago to go into playoffs and make some noise instead of, limping into the playoffs, almost going winless in the division and, letting out a wet fart in the playoffs. I get that we had the best performance against the Eagles of anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But like it was the season in 2024 fell far below my expectations for the team.
Yeah. No,
so
I think
that's where I'm at there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I never answered your question. Do I feel like this is it for the wide receiver room? I'm going to go yes. I'm like 65% yes.
Okay.
I kind of just feel like Goody's still in a spot where he likes his young guys.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm there too. I think that they sucked for no reason in 2024. Like, they're good football players who still ran good routes. It's not like they were running into each other. It's not like they were, couldn't get open. They're running good routes.
Yeah.
Jordan's putting the ball on their hands. Hey, I got both hands on it, and then I just drop it.
Yeah. Yeah. Separation, I don't think was anywhere near the issue in 2024 at the receiver position. It's just the hands. So,
Adam Huddle said, I know Banks was a little pricey, but I'm glowing that Green Bay already shored up center and clearly upgraded it. Yeah, I mean, okay. So let's say that Banks gives us competent guard play that we don't have to worry about all season. And then Elton Jenkins is playing out of his mind at center. Yeah, the offensive line is immediately a lot better than it was last year. I'll give you that. I'm there. Sure. Would love to see Jordan Morgan competing with Rasheed Walker to hopefully take over that left tackle spot. And I love Rasheed Walker, but I'd like our first round pick last year to be a fantastic football player who's actually a big asset for our offensive line. That'd be nice. My expectation from right now is to be riding the pine all year, or competing with what's his nuts at right guard.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah,
Ryan. Yeah. Actually, I think Morgan will be the starting right guard. I think Sean Ryan's riding the pine.
Yeah, I think I think the question is Morgan versus Ryan is more of like what do you want to be offensively? Because I feel like the run game, I think it benefits from having duo, power, lead, and zone all mixed into one. And having players, especially on the interior, who can help make that happen is huge. Jordan Morgan feels like I feel like he is built for the zone stuff, and I think, maybe again, build up the strength, build up that power to be the starting right guard, and he can do both. I feel like Ryan's got that edge to him if they want to, if they're trying to build like what the Rams are trying to build, right, where they're guard, center, guard, we're running more duo, we're getting more vertical in this run game, and we're going to punch you in the mouth. That maybe Morgan gets there. But yeah, I think, I don't remember. It's been a long week. The camp I was doing and late nights last week. Did I say I liked Hobbs better than Banks? Do you remember?
That's what you said last week. Yeah.
You did. Okay. Yeah.
No, you said that. You said that. I said yes. I liked.
Yeah. I think I'm still there just because I don't know about you, JJ, not to keep pushing to kind of different subjects here, but like I'm kind of surprised that Tevin Jenkins hasn't been signed yet. To be honest, I know he's had
I'm still fine to
injuries.
bring him in. I think Tevin Jenkins is probably an upgrade over Rasheed Walker. And again,
I mean,
I like Rasheed Walker, but I would like to bring. I think Tevin Jenkins is clearly an upgrade over Sean Ryan.
Right. Yeah. So like, if Tevin's coming into play, and that's why, again, and we did that, right? We did the upgrade the offense, right? We did that show a few weeks ago, and it was like, yeah, let's go get Tevin, right? Like, and let him take one of the guard spots. It eases a need at center, right? And so, yeah, I think he obviously injuries clearly are the issue, because I feel like, yeah, he would have signed already. But yeah, that's the direction I would have leaned. I do think, like, I'm cautiously optimistic about the line. I do think what Banks does give you, though, is that, bringing it back here to what I was saying earlier, is like he gives you the ability to run different stuff and install everything you want to into your run game to be multiple, right? You don't have to sit around and be a wide zone team only, right, with Banks. And conversely, you don't have to be a power gap only team with Banks. And so that's the good news with that. So,
and I mean, like, okay, we all know Banks is clearly a starter on this offensive line. The money they gave him, he is a starter.
Money.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I do you think he's okay? You probably know a little bit more about him than I do. Is he going to be our left guard or our right guard?
I would assume he's going to be left guard. I don't think he's.
I'd like him better at right guard, because I think he's a significantly better run blocker than he is a pass blocker.
Yes.
So I'd prefer.
Does PFF agree on that? I think they do.
Drew says he's only played left guard. I have not vetted that. I
think that's all he's played.
Brian Maffey says left guard.
Even back to college, I'm pretty sure.
We have a bunch of interesting questions that I want to make sure we don't miss. One of them from Adam Huddle. He asks, does Tevin Jenkins still have that back thing? So I think you're talking about, like, he had back issues in college. Brian Maffey says he still has the back thing. I know that, like, at the end of last year, when he came back after his injury, he was playing fine. At least immediately after he came back. Maybe he tapered off toward the end, I'm not sure. But when he first came back, he was playing pretty well. I have not heard anything about him still having, like, an ongoing recent injury. I know that the back stuff from college is still kind of plaguing him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if something's plaguing him and, like, is still an issue, then yeah, that's understandable. That, like, teams are like, and Green Bay as well is kind of like, we're not going near that.
I'm not picking on Adam Huddle here for this comment. He says the worst thing about Banks is that LaFleur will try and run the ball more next year. I'm not picking on Adam. I am just sort of addressing, like, this is a common theme among Packer fans I'm noticing right now, is, like, an irritation with how much we ran the ball last year. Can I just say, like, the passing game wasn't working because our wide receivers were playing like idiots, and our quarterback was injured, and it was coaching malpractice to put him out there on the field. The passing game wasn't working. The running game was working. So I agreed with the decision to run it as much as we did. And, by the way, prior to last year, the biggest complaint that Packer fans routinely had about LaFleur is that he wasn't giving Aaron Jones enough carries. So you bring in a bigger, premier elite running back who can handle that workload and hand the rock off to him a whole bunch, and all of a sudden Packer fans don't like running the ball. So again, I'm not picking on Adam. I love Adam. But this is a very common comment from Packer fans right now that I'm just not really quite on board with. And Adam, I do want to get to some of your earlier questions because you had some good ones. But as you can see, we're just kind of off on some tangents. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, Banks, just quickly checking, he had, like, I think, like, 75 snaps elsewhere in terms of, like, left tackle, right tackle, whereas, like, left guard was like 1,800 some at Notre Dame.
So he's out.
So nothing serious in terms of, like, yeah, he's actually going to play here. So yeah, it's been left guard for 98, 99% of his snaps. And so he's staying there. Yeah, I mean, there the way that if they're actually gonna the way that the narrative of we're gonna run the football more, that happens if they draft Henderson in the second round. If Green Bay does that,
wait a
minute, then
we've got
to have the conversation about it. Yeah, exactly. Then we start to have that conversation about that. So, but yeah, I do think like again, Jordan Love, they build this on explosive plays, right? That's what they want to do. They want to hit the big stuff down the field, the intermediate, right? All of that. They'll of course, quick game will be a part of things, but they want to be, an explosive passing offense. So, yeah, I think if it's like, this is just, yeah, we believe in Banks. We're believing in his ability to take steps forward. We've seen what we'd like to see in Banks in San Francisco. We believe we can get the best out of him to take steps forward and essentially be a versatile run game, be a dominant unit on the interior to protect Love and have this passing game materialize again like it did, in spurts in 2024 and then down the stretch in 2023. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the Banks signing. I still think I like the Hobbs one better because simply for a couple things. Run the structure of the contract, right, and how much they're handing out, right, considering I think the play on the field, but also because I think there's some versatility there for the secondary, which I think again should still be putting Bullard on notice, even though he's only entering year 2. So I kind of like that. But I do think I am still cautiously optimistic on Banks because I've seen the vision of like, yeah, this is the run game's going to be, I think, really exciting. Doesn't mean it's going to be a priority, but it means that they can get vertical in the run game with the interior they have, which should be exciting to people. And I hope Jordan Morgan continues to figure out something, pushing somebody somewhere, anywhere. Push someone, Jordan, in year 2, please. That would be great.
I do want to hit this comment from the Angry Casual Fan, which is not a name I recognize on here. He says, wow, this is the first Packers channel I heard hold the wide receivers accountable and point out the fact that LaFleur started Love while he was injured. I mean, hey, I think I've ranted about that a lot on this channel, and Jake has had to sit through it a bunch, so my apologies to Jake. But listen, I think there's different breeds of Packers fans. There's the overly optimistic, the overly pessimistic. I think that Jake and I really try and walk a line where we just kind of talk about facts as much as possible and try to leave the emotion out of it. I think Jake's better at leaving the emotion out of it than I am. But I think that's the goal. I think we try and be objective but fun on this channel. Do you want to hit the Tyreek Williams question from Adam Huddle right now, or do you want to talk about Banks and Hobbs a little more?
I think we hit that one. Yeah, let's do that. We're 45 minutes in. It's a good place to go back to.
So Huddle wants to know, do you think Tyreek Williams has enough pass rush juice to be an option for Green Bay Hafley's defense? What do you think, Jake?
I feel like I would lean no. Yeah, that's tough. I don't. This is the thing. I don't know, because obviously plenty of players during the season, and again, I don't know if Hafley was more of like, this is what we have to do. This is what, is going to get the best out of us in year 1 while we reload the personnel for year 2 via the draft or whatever, and I can get guys that I think will help the unit better. But they did have plenty of guys align at the 1 tech, and especially on early downs, right? They had plenty of that. So if they're looking for a player like that to be in in that rotation, right? Williams is good for that. He will be the type of disruptor, block shedder, right? Hold the point of attack. Don't let the line of scrimmage get reset. Don't let guys climb in the run game. He will be that. If you're asking, if you're asking that one tech to also, provide plenty in the pass rush department, I don't think he's the guy for it. I think there are other guys I would look to instead. But, that's the thing, right? So if they're asking him to just we have 4 down linemen, we need all 4 of these guys to have some sort of juice as a pass rusher. Yeah, then probably not, right? Because I think even though he plays a lot of 3 tech and is good at it, I see a world where Green Bay moves Hardman and asks him to do both things. Because even though, again, the pass rush win rate and all that stuff is off the charts, the more I watch, and again, for some of these guys that Green Bay is showing interest in and doing all this, I'm putting more games on the schedule to watch, right? Like, I want to get more and more on this. And so the more I see Hardman, the more I go, man, this guy can hold up. Run game stuff is not a problem for him, right? Like, when he is asked to be disciplined, playing the run, he does it. And it's quite impressive relative to my expectations on it. So that, to me, that's the type of player I imagine they're looking at, right? Is it like, oh yeah, is this guy just going to get kind of destroyed off the ball, or can he handle himself a little bit more with some more size, right? Because Hardman has more size than, you look at your Walter Nolans, your Darius Alexanders, who we both could talk about for a year. Even Graham, but I think Graham does a really nice job of everything. But he's obviously sub 200, right? Derek Harmon's in that 314, I think, range. Then he fits. He fits exactly of yes, we trust Y to be the 3 tech, but we have Hardman who can do, 3 tech as well. But we trust him in some spots where we used to trust, and play Kenny more at when he needed to play that. Not necessarily the 0, right? The nose. This isn't going to be your 5-man front, right, anymore, right? This is a different defense, of course. But if you're going to ask Hardman to do a couple more things, I think he's going to do it more than a Nolan or an Alexander will. So I think that's what gets me excited about Hardman. And that's why, again, the guys like Tyleik Williams, maybe Kenneth Grant and Alfred Collins are guys who you go, yeah, maybe there's a bit more here, right? Grant's still, I think, working to get there, and I think he has shown that he has a little bit more of that, right? And obviously the athleticism, the freaks list, all that stuff tells you that he has enough to potentially get there, just hasn't materialized yet. But Hardman feels like that guy where it's just yep, we can place you at 1 tech and you're not going to be a liability there. And also, we'll give you 3 tech looks because we know how good you are at turning the corner and winning in a variety of ways as a rusher. So I just don't – it would be awesome to know what Green Bay's looking for exactly. And again, we try to pour over as much of this as we can. There are people who know better than me on exactly – I think exactly what – but again, I don't know if Hafley felt like he was – constrained by a few things roster-wise on defense last year, and it was LaFleur's we'll get through this, we'll add some guys for you over the next 2 drafts, and obviously they went secondary heavy, and they needed to address that, and they needed to get a guy like Cooper, but
yeah,
maybe that's where they go. It's a tough question because I just don't know. If you're looking for pass rush juice from the 1 tech, I just don't think it's Tyleik. I think it's Grant or it's maybe Collins. I think Thor Griffith is another fun conversation to have on day 3, but that's where I'm at. I know it's a long-winded answer, but it's just I wish I knew exactly what Green Bay was looking for. But obviously they're interested in D-line. They went to the Oregon Pro Day. I know there are plenty of guys there. But, the interest is clear. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that one, Adam. Hopefully that was a decent enough answer there. But, yeah, I know Angry Casual Fan talked about how he felt about Mecole Hardman. The one thing, if you're going back and watching, that's awesome. But if you're still here, right, and you're following along live, I will say the yards per run against man coverage is interesting over the last couple seasons with Hardman. It is interesting.
My apologies. I'm having some internet issues over here, but I think I might be okay for right now. And I heard everything you said. It was just a little choppy for me. I did want to talk a little bit about just what the stats say about Tyleek as a pass rusher, because it's not pretty. He had a 6% pressure rate this past year, 6% the previous year as well. Not good. Obviously on the interior, you're not going to be at 10, 11, 12%, but still 6% even among, interior defenders is not what you're looking for. Right. Fantastic run defender. He's got it. Yeah. Last year, 2023, he had a 8% missed tackle rate. And then in 2024, by the way, I think he was a little better in 2023 than he was in 2024. He also missed a lot of time. Though he struggled a little bit with his health, but in 2024 his missed tackle rate was a little higher, 13%. But that's still good. Yeah. That's still within the range we're looking for. But 8%.
There are guys with some seriously high missed tackle rates at defensive tackle. So 13.
Oh, absolutely.
13 isn't as bad as you would think it is. Relative.
So I think he was I think he's a little better in 23 than he was in 24. I still liked what he did in 24, but he's definitely mostly just a run stopper. And I think he does good at containing the pocket. But I kind of almost more so playing like run defense against the quarterback.
Yeah.
Which how much is that going to translate to the NFL? And we're going to play, I guess Justin Fields isn't in the division anymore, but
no, but the NFC East got a couple guys who, are a handful.
Do we play the whole NFC East this year? I feel like this is the year we play them all. I can't remember.
It might be. It's not. Is it? Oh no. I feel like I should.
I can't remember.
I'm looking up opponents right now. But like,
by the way,
this. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, who is Drew said he doesn't mind missed tackles. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. That'll be interesting, by the way.
We also play Baltimore, by the way. So, again, you're not planning for all these opponents, right? But again, Caleb scrambles. JJ's an athlete. Don't forget. Like, I know we haven't seen him in a while, but JJ's an athlete. He will take off.
Maybe we play JJ. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers.
Could be Aaron Rodgers. Yes, it's true. I think no matter what, we're playing Aaron Rodgers. Based on the destinations that have been thrown out.
Sounds like
we're playing Aaron Rodgers if he plays.
We're playing the Giants, Steelers, and Vikings. So I would say correct. The schedule makers are going to wait to set that schedule for sure until they find out where he's going.
They're holding out on Green Bay's games. They're like, hey, we. Okay, but also, by the way, again, Bryce Young, decent scrambler. Bo Nix and Kyler are on the schedule too. Again, you're not planning for your schedule necessarily, but again, the Bears could get better, right? If they take the steps, right, they're taking some pretty decent steps. I know we talked a little bit about that last week. Caleb's going to be a scrambler. That's not going away, right? He's got a little bit of that Kyler stuff going on in his film, and it always has. So he's going to have that. I don't imagine the Commanders are going anywhere, right? I don't think the Eagles are going anywhere either. So like that, they're going to be there. So having a guy who's fundamentally sound, I'm not taking myself out of plays with the pass rush necessarily. Like I know I'm not going to get home as much as my peers, but I'm going to make sure I'm not taking myself out of this situation, which is a good thing for him. I'm excited to go back a little bit more on Tyleek for 23. I've seen a lot of 24, but I want to see a couple games maybe against the top guys in 23. I'm interested still.
Drew says that the Packers-Steelers game is going to be in Ireland. I didn't think that was confirmed.
It hasn't been yet, but it keeps getting floated out there. Obviously, the Steelers are playing there. But, yeah, no confirmation. I know Green Bay's at Pittsburgh, and that's probably what they're going to end up doing. Is like, hey, yeah, this can be a neutral one for you. But, yeah, I haven't seen it confirmed either. And to really quick to Adam's point of like Grant has the juice, afraid he's too big. I think Grant has the ability to become a pretty good pass rusher because of all the athleticism. The one thing is, yeah, if he is, because he came into the combine at 6'3", 331. Again, that would be in the Slayton range of like, usually if Green Bay goes D tackle, they're not going guys that size that early. Grant could be an exception. But the other thing is, does he play at 330? I don't know. That's probably something Green Bay would ask him. If which again, nobody else asks, even though the people are huddled around these guys and they're asking about some silly stuff instead, rather than like, hey, what was like? There's so many guys. Grant is one of them. Mason Graham's another. What'd you play at? Samar Stewart. What'd you play at? Nick Scorton. What'd you play at? Like it'd be so nice to know, but. Yeah, Grant.
I mean, the scouts are asking.
Sure, of course. But like, if I ever get to go to the combine with press stuff, that's all I'm going to ask. You don't even have to know. Like, people are going to be like, yeah, this guy, because guys take the videos of the answers, right? And guys will be saying like, yeah, this guy. Next year it'll be like, who knows? I got to think about who's going back. Oh, Corleone, right from Cincinnati, went back to school again. Defensive tackle, Cincinnati, and. Somebody will have a clip of him next year saying like, yeah, I played at this weight, because they asked me to be 1 tech, but like I would rather play at this weight, if I'm going to be asked to play 3 tech. And JJ and some others in the chat here are gonna be like, I know who asked that question. You don't even have to take the whole video. I know who asked that.
Well, so Drew said he doesn't mind missed tackles for interior guys, which is good. Derek Hardman. First of all, he had a 29 tackling grade in 2024 from PFF.
Yeah, dude.
Take that for what it's worth. Dude. But he also missed 27% of his tackles.
Yep. Now,
the previous year, I don't want to be disingenuous. The previous year in 2023, he was down around like 13%, which is where you want him to be.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude could not tackle to save his life in 2024. No. I'm curious. Actually, let's see. What did he do in 2022? 22 was a rough year for him. Dang. Only 18% missed tackle rate, but that was about all he did. 6% pressure rate. Yeah, it was not a good year for him. 2022. I mean, whatever. It was not. How many games did he play in 22? He played 12 games. About 500 snaps. So, he was clearly not a full-time starter, but
yeah,
42 career games. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyways, just want to touch that.
This is the same thing.
Didn't we already say we want to know what Birch played?
Yeah, I said this at the top of the show. I don't think Drew was here at that time because I think we started with the pro day first. But yes, me too. Would love to know, Drew, what he played at. Oh, I was going to answer my own question right when I asked about this. Is this it at wide receiver? And my answer was, if so, Loveland at 23. Thank you. Thank you and good night.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to do your Loveland speech again?
I mean, I can. I think I've done this a lot, which is good. I've rehearsed it. I've got all the main points down. My Loveland piece is, there's this great follow. I'll have to share it somewhere, maybe just on Twitter, where he's talking about the F position and the Joker and about what the F position really is becoming and how it lets you run different things out of similar groupings because said F, position player acts like a tight end at times and is also a good receiver. Talk about your Puka Nakuas. That's a great example. Cooper Kupp did it for a long time, right? Sam Laporta is doing that in Detroit. I think Tucker Kraft could be looped in there eventually if they give him more opportunities. But Kraft is so good as an inline player that you would love to keep him there, right? I think Loveland, to me, the reason I'm in at 23 is because of some of the special stuff you see as a receiver. And if you go back to 23 and don't look at 24 as much because he had the shoulder injury, you see a guy who is very in on run blocking, has no problem taking on the ancillary pieces, right, your linebacker safeties, but also crashing into, right, holding the point of attack against defensive ends either. So to me, that's what separates him. And because I do think this movement of like, okay, so you're a tight end. Are you a good tight end because you're good as both tight end and receiver of tight end? Are you good at tight end of tight end, or are you good at the receiver part of tight end? Right? And so if we go back and just quickly do this, right? Brock Bowers, what is he good at? He's not good at the tight end part of being tight end, right? The blocking, all that. But he's
he's an inline
special.
receiver.
He is so freaking special as a receiver because guys don't get yards after the catch at that size that he does and run routes that he does. It doesn't matter. He's that good. Sam Laporta wasn't that good. But Sam Laporta has consistently worked on becoming a better blocker, that he can be out there as an inline guy, but can obviously be a threat as a receiver in 11, but is also out there as your F in 12 personnel. He can do both things. He doesn't have to come off the field for certain things versus others. And that's where I think Loveland comes into this. Okay? Because Loveland, maybe he's not an inline in 11, but I'll tell you what. In 12, he can do multiple things. And this is where and Kraft is, I think, a really good combo tight end as well. This is where the Dalton Kincaid issue of things comes about. Okay? Dalton Kincaid never blocked well. He didn't. Right? It's just fact. The idea of Kincaid was that hopefully he would turn into Kelsey in his spatial awareness, right? The short area, decel, re-excel parts of the game. And I think you saw flashes of that in year one. But in year two, he got surpassed by Shakir. They couldn't have him block because they wanted to run more with Cook. They didn't know what to do with him. You can't get phased out like that. And that's where Kincaid is at. He's getting phased out because he doesn't block. I think Loveland can block. I think he's pretty darn good at it. 2023, you go back to that. So he can be your Puka, your Cup, your Laporta. I'm certainly missing someone. I know I am. But I think he can be that. And that's why I'm adamant about this, because if that's something Green Bay goes, yeah, if we want a more, complex offense with similar personnel, where teams are going to have to go, yeah, we have to defend the run because both Kraft and Loveland are out there. We both know they can block. Oh, now we can flex Kraft out wide, but Loveland could still be in as an inline player to block in some instances. What's coming? I don't know. Loveland's in the slot. They could be running. He could be inserting into the B gap to get hands on the linebacker. Or he could be sprinting down the field, routing up our safety or linebacker or slot player who's on him, and be just an absolute terror for us trying to guard in the passing game. That's where I'm at with Loveland. That's why I think I'd rather have him personally than Warren for Green Bay, because I think Warren fits into the Kraft mold almost too well to where, like, yes, you could have two of Kraft, but it would also be better to have a guy, I think, who separates a little bit better to me in terms of, like, the route break transitions. He's not always like, I'm just bigger and, like, I can push off and, like, use my body to create the separation, right? Like, I don't think Warren is as sharp a cutter and all of that. Now, Warren does do some stuff like, running straight down the field, right? They give him wildcat stuff, so maybe you're in on that. If you're in on that, that's cool. I'll find a way to be in on that as well. But I think Loveland gives you, I think, an extra gear, perhaps a little bit more catch radius. I know he doesn't have it. He's not as good at contested catches as Warren is because, again, he's built more, he's more strung out in terms of the build rather than compact. But like catch radius, margin of error throws, in breaking, out breaking, seam routes attached to the line, like he does a lot of that. And that's why I'm in. Especially in a draft class that's kind of like, yeah, you could kind of throw these rankings from 15 to 60 all over the place.
Sure.
And it's like, just maybe you're taking the best player there. And like, I think at 23, barring some insane fall for a couple other guys, like I think he's going to be the best player on the board by a pretty significant margin.
So I do want to, we hit the 1 hour mark. So we have two options here. One is we can wrap up our few comments that I wanted to get caught up on here. We got a few questions that I thought were pretty good. Or if you guys want, you can do some mock drafts. I'm going to throw the dono.
There you go.
Down at the bottom there. If you guys want to sponsor some mock drafts. Otherwise, I do have a few questions I want to get to that I thought were pretty good. One, Adam Huddle. Who will annoy JJ more on the bench? Van Ness or Morgan? First of all, Jake, I'd like to get your prediction. Sure. Brian Maffey already put in the chat that he thought it would be LVN. Yeah. So I want to know, what's your prediction? I will tell you that it's not close. It's not close at all.
I think it's LVN. As much as I think I think there is a frustration from you in terms of Morgan and like we need to get him out there to play. I do think like you having LVN where you ranked him, I think you'd be very disappointed because also that I think you and everybody, I think we agreed on this, and I think most people did. But like when they took him, it was like, no, this isn't immediate. This is like, hey, what's year 3 look like? And so like,
yeah,
building to that year 3 and him sitting on the bench, I think will drive you insane.
Yeah. So you are correct.
Okay.
I Lucas Van Ness, when we cut Preston, like Van Ness should have been out there full time.
Oh yeah.
Nothing against Kingsley. I love Kingsley.
Game, the run defense. This is a 4-down line. This isn't like your first instinct is the run. That Van Ness can do that. Yeah. It was very weird.
Because what Van Ness has inside him is J.J. Watt. That's what he has inside him, is J.J. Watt.
Can it come out?
Jordan Morgan, I don't know that Jordan Morgan has anything in him. I was never high on him as a prospect. Yeah. So, my any of my frustration is just like, gosh, I'd like to get some value out of our first round pick. Van Ness, I know what he can be. And I did not have any expectations of him as a rookie. The little bit that we saw of him at all, it was just nice to be like, oh, hey, look, there he is. Cool.
Yeah, there he is, like chasing Fields down. Like, yes, tremendous athlete. He's huge.
That's the play.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, he can run these guys down. Yeah, exactly.
So, so my big question will always be, holy crap, hold on. Dude, $25 dono from Drew.
What?
25. I think that is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that is by far the biggest dono that we have gotten on this channel.
My gosh.
So let's see here. I'm gonna clear out last week's names. Thank you to Tool for this, Chris Jackmett, Chris N, and Tyler Dershel for sponsoring last week's mock drafts.
Jeez.
We're going to have to do something real special. So Drew,
I will say, he did ask
want. So I did start that. I do want to get to that.
I have it up.
I do as well.
Oh, you do?
I do as well. But
did you find
Drew,
the graphic from somebody?
With your huge donation, I would like you to drop in the chat. Let me know special requests.
Yeah.
What would make you happy for good return on your $25 donation?
Yeah.
So let me know what exactly would you like to get for that. Okay.
That came out wrong.
Lucas Van Ness. What I want to know if he is not starting and like killing it in year 3. I want to know what the heck Jason Rebrovich did. That's what I want to know. You're supposed to be coaching this dude up, and we all knew how raw he was.
I'm sorry.
What did I miss?
Nothing. I just keep going. Keep going. You'll probably hear it if you listen to it at all. Just keep going.
Did I say something?
No, I did. It was something I said. Don't worry about it.
Well, just tell me, because now I'm so distracted. I can't even get back to it.
No. I those who heard it know. What I meant to say, I'll just say this. What I meant to say was, Drew, if you want to have requests this week and next week, if you want to spread the requests out, you can do that.
Oh yeah, mock draft this week and next week.
Yes,
I think that's totally fair. But dude paid more than the cost of 2 full 7-round mock drafts. So, Drew, appreciate you, man. Not only is Tyler Dershel not in the chat here right now, he's getting out-donoed by Drew.
Oh, man.
Fighting words. Let's get to some other questions here. So yeah, Van Ness, clear and obvious.
Yeah.
So let's do Drew's question here about the mock draft, and then we'll hit
angry casual fans. Well, it ties
we'll do
in,
casual
actually.
fan. Yeah,
it
well,
ties
let's
in.
pull up the mock draft.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Packers pick, and then we'll touch on casual fans.
Well, I've got did you pull up like the mock and like you're gonna scroll to the pick, or?
Yeah, well, he just said the latest mock. He didn't ask like, can you do just the Packers? I figured he meant like the whole.
Oh no, yeah, because
first round mock.
I have this. I'll send you this.
You got a good graphic?
Yeah, it might be a little blurry. I don't know. Maybe the resolution on this monitor is different, but it's Hog NFL has Mel Kiper's and DJ's both in graphic form.
Okay.
But let me see what it looks like. On the
yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do. I think if I share it this way, I think we should get the clearest quality, because you're right, it is a touch blurry. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me.
Hopefully, it looks like it does for us.
All right, I'm gonna hide the comment here, and I'm also gonna hide. How do I take this out? There we go. Okay. All right, so Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
There were two graphics.
Hog NFL put these together, by the way.
Here's Daniel Jeremiah's. Okay, so I'm saving
next
this
to
one.
it. Yeah.
Okay, lit. So
a little bit strange with how the picks flow, but I think once you see it, you're in good shape here. Oh, nice.
All right, Mel Kiper. So Cam Moore to the Titans, Abdul Carter to the Browns. Okay, Titans are stupid. Pass on Abdul Carter, whatever. Shadur Sanders, pick 3. This is interesting to me because I keep seeing Shadur go all over the place, because I think we've all seen him, going, mocked at 21 to the Steelers a bajillion times.
Have you seen?
Derek Hardman went at 21 in this one.
Have you seen the Giants take Hunter 3rd and then trade up to 20 to take Sanders?
Who did that one?
I've seen that. I've seen that a few times. Of like they'll move up from I think 34 to go get Sanders at 20. Very much again hey, we're taking Dexter Lawrence at 6, Daniel Jones at 17 type of deal. Same deal. John Barrow maybe has the influence of like, hey, we're gonna take the good player first, then we'll go get the QB second. But I have seen that a few times.
I mean, I don't hate it. Yeah.
It's not the worst thing. They're getting somebody at the top.
So obviously, what we're all here to look at is Mike Green at pick 15 to the Falcons. I think this is what we're here to talk about, right?
Well, I
look
would
at that.
say
He has Will Johnson falling all the way to pick 16. Where does
I was
going to
say that, but also, have you seen Dallas here? Omarion Hampton.
They take Omarion Hampton.
12.
Yeah.
At 12.
I think that's the highest I've ever seen Hampton going.
Yes, easily.
And it's not really close. I think I usually see him in the second or third round.
Listen, we make fun of. I've seen him at 20. At 9. I've seen Hampton at 20, 22, 24. I've not seen him at 12. I know we like to dog on Jerry a lot because it's funny. I don't in the draft, not as much, man. I know that the Mozzie Smith wasn't a great pick, right? Tyler Guyton's a little hit or miss, but then again, look at
Mozzie was in the second
right?
round, wasn't he? Wasn't Mozzie a second rounder?
No. He was not. But what I will say
where did they take Mozzie?
First. That's why, yeah. So
They did not.
Oh, yeah.
How did I forget that?
Yeah.
They took Mozzie in the first round?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I think...
How did I forget that?
It hasn't been excellent lately, but like, again, you remember this team in the 2010s was just stacking guys. Offensive line picks in the first round. Very sensible stuff that they were doing. It's just, I don't feel like they're going to be... I don't think they're going to be like this. Yes, if Genty falls to 12, sure. Yeah, absolutely. To me, that is sensible. I don't think taking the second running back at 12 is a sensible thing. To me, they could even just, like, because they have Cooper Beebe. Sensible would actually tell, to me, at least, take Will Campbell, play him a guard. If he's there. Like, that seems like a very Jerry sensible thing to do. Go get your receiver and running back on day 2. Like, I feel like that is a very viable path for them. Hampton at 12 seems... I think we're getting too nuts there. I think we're like overestimating
let me
Cowboys'
ask you this.
desperation.
Let me ask you this.
Not to get away from Green Bay, but I just had to go there.
What is your opinion of Mel Kiper? Because I think I've been pretty well documented in my criticism of, people taking him seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly,
Joel Klatt has pretty darn high hit rate for his mock drafts compared to Mel Kiper.
Yeah, this is my thing.
Brendan Donahue, I think, is the best. But
I'm wondering if again, I haven't looked at a lot of Kiper's. I couldn't probably name things that Kiper has done, even right before the draft. I'm with you. DJ, I could probably tell you. Brugler, I could probably tell you. Mayock, before it was DJ, I could probably tell you what he did, especially for Green Bay, like right before the draft. Because he had Ja there the night before Mayock did.
Yeah,
so like I feel like I'm paying more attention to those guys. It feels like Kiper is going off of his own type of like this is my line of thinking, not necessarily team's line of thinking per se. I feel like there's a bit of that in there because I feel like I don't see Ibuka to Green Bay a lot. Why? Because to me, Ibuka is playing more slot than Z. And where do you go? So like I feel like the people giving Green Bay receiver in the first are giving them Golden. And why are they giving them Golden? Because he plays on the perimeter. And that to me that makes way more sense. And I know he's not there, but like so yeah, Mel Kiper, I'm kind of listen, he pioneered this, right? He's the reason we're kind of sitting and being able to talk about this a bunch in the offseason. So I definitely credit him for
it
that.
is the year of our Lord 2025.
Yes, it is that. So like I'm not totally in on like, oh yeah, this is something that could happen or like this is what he's hearing. I just don't have that calibrated because I haven't seen a lot of his, to be honest.
So obviously he has a Mekabuka to us here at 23. Now you are pretty firmly have him entrenched as a slot guy, and I
think mostly just because one, he blocks well, and like when I watched Ibuka, and I know it's not going to happen anymore, I thought, oh my gosh, they're moving on from Kupp. He's going to be a Ram. Like they're going to do that. And then they went Devontae, but like to me that fit nicely. Houston, I think that fits tremendously. One, he's playing with Stroud again. Two, he's playing off of Nico, which I think is really good. For Green Bay, I mean, I will say this might be a hot take. We'll see. When I watched these two guys, okay, because I know, again, some people have this guy wide receiver 1, okay? I don't. I liked Ibuka a lot more than Luther Burden. Like a lot more as a player, which I didn't think was going to be the case. Spoiler for the Cheesehead TV draft guide purchasers: Ibuka is going to be ahead of Burden.
I
Like
think
Ibuka's got so much better
me,
attention to detail. There's so much more attention to detail with Ibuka. And also I know Ibuka's going to win in breakers. I don't know about Burden. Anyway.
Well, I know that for me, there's definitely a little bit of Ibuka fatigue just because I've been watching him at Ohio State for so many years. And so, like,
yeah.
For me, I guess I just kind of feel like I see more clearly where his ceiling is. And it's a high ceiling, for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't get as geeked about Emeka as I did, some of the other Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fair.
Wide receivers who come through, JS.
Yeah.
Then obviously Jeremiah Smith. And Emeka is a little bit kind of more of the same with a little much higher floor. All right. Like I kind of think you're kind of getting Romeo Dobbs, but like never an off game. That's kind of how I see Emeka, and like, hey, is that worth a first round pick? Yeah. Sorry, Drew. I know that my internet was back. I don't know if you could hear me guys at all, but
we heard a little bit of it. Mentioning Smith, mentioning JSN, right? Like, yeah, I think. Go ahead, but yeah, we heard some of that for sure.
You hear the part where I was talking, comparing him to Dobbs. Did that come through?
Yes, that was there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's kind of the important part for me, I guess. I like Ibuka. He's probably worth a first round pick. If we got him in the second round, I'd be ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about where I land on him. I don't think that he has the top end that Garrett and Olave gave you. Can he be as productive as JSN? I think absolutely. So I do want to hit.
I think he's
Angry Casuals question.
Yeah.
So this was from 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If Ibuka and Hardman are the only wide receiver signings, are you happy? And my question back to you, Angry Casual, is:
are you?
I guess the comment is bold of you to assume that we're getting Emeka or that we're drafting a wide receiver.
I would be. I'll tell you. To me, Ibuka, what he does well is like what the receiver room needs. Like Ibuka will push these guys. Like catch the freaking ball. I catch everything. Okay, I will catch everything. You will learn to fear me in this room. No, like, but
that's what we need, honestly.
Yes, but like, I think Ibuka.
Hey, if drafting Ibuka elevates all the other wide receivers, is that worth our first round pick? I say yes.
Yes.
I say yes.
Yes, because again, if Dobbs is the odd man out, right, and you're running and you bring back Watson and like you're running, 2026 with Watson, Ibuka, Reed, and Wicks, are you joking? I mean, Ibuka attacking leverage, winning in and out, breaking routes, like securing the ball to catch point, doing all of that, right? He's not a fantastic yak player, right? I think his concentration and the way he handles the catch point could lead him to, if you get him working on like that catch to attack transition point more, like I think he can get the footwork aligned because there is some burst there in the short area, right? He has shown the ability to kind of win downfield sometimes, right? If he can do so with tempo. Like I think Ibuka does a lot of the fundamental stuff really well. And someone commented on my Ibuka video going like, hey, like, shouldn't all receivers do this? And I'm like, yes, they should. But I'll tell you what, so many don't coming into the league, and that's why they don't make it. Because Ibuka's got attention to detail. And all the guys who have, in previous seasons, in previous draft classes, who have had the tools and the refinement to the game have all stuck around. Because, that's where the ceiling lies. It's not in the physical tools. And that's something I struggle with understanding more so. But it's true. Like, your athletic traits are awesome. When you refine your game with all the technical details of like understanding depth in your routes and in how to set up defenders and when to attack and all of that, like he's got it. And again, that certainly helps with 4 years in college, right? But he is, I mean, they've showed that thing a million times in the title game, right? Like, of like, hey, you know, Ibuka going like, hey, if you run this and you attack the leverage here, like, this is going to be open, like on the sideline, right? Before that big play that kind of ended the game. So like he is a true student of the game, understands everything that you're going to ask of him. So like, yeah, would I be stoked to be drafting Ibuka? Yeah. Heck yes, of course. Do I think he's going to be at the level of, you know, the neighbors, Thomas, even Ladd at receiver? Probably not. No, I don't think he's going to reach there. But I do think, JJ here, I'll say this one last thing about Ibuka. He reminds me of like Olave does all of this well, but in the slot. That's what Ibuka reminds me of. Like, Olave obviously did it on the perimeter because he's got a little more burst to him, and I think that explosiveness matters, right, in terms of winning in seconds. But like, not a great yak player, right, but does all the fundamental route running stuff super well and catches everything. Feels like he's a slot version of Olave, right? And again, if he works on that transition,
I could buy that. Yeah,
if he works on the transition point into a runner, I think he can get to JSN. I think there's a path there. Not to keep comping him to Ohio State receivers, but it just happens to work in this scenario. So like, I think it works. I think you could make it work with Ibuka in Green Bay for sure, because he's going to be reliable from the jump. He understands no block, no rock. Like, he's going to do all those things that like the beat reporters and all that are gonna be like, yeah, so Ibuka's just fundamentally sound everywhere. He's just doing everything the right way. And that's what you'll get from your training camp tweets. That's 100% what you'll get from him. No matter where he goes, you're going to get those.
Jake,
didn't mean to be all the way in on the Ibuka thing, but like, because there was a lot of stuff in that mock, but like, I mean, that's what was asked. So sorry, go ahead.
Jake, Ibuka, first downs per reception, over or under 50%? This is for career.
First downs per reception? Whoa. First downs per reception. Or first downs per
downs per target. Sorry, first downs per target. First downs per target.
Is he like 0.44? Or is he one of the 0.46s?
He is for this past year, he was 47%.
Okay.
For career. So you're going below 50%?
Shoot. A career.
So your final answer?
Sure.
All right, it is 49.6%, barely under 50%.
Love that though. We love that number. Hold on. I've got a little thing here with some of those. That was per target.
Yeah, that's first downs per target career. So still the only guy that we have who's over 50% is Restrepo. And then Ibuka is actually in second place behind him. So Restrepo is at 50.57.
I will say other receivers that went in the first round recently that had 0.49 first downs per target, right? I'm getting that right, per target?
0.49
first downs
per
target.
Yeah.
The other guys I see recently here, you're going to love this. Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. Enjoy.
That's crazy.
Enjoy.
So
I mean, he's legit. Like I might say something crazy. I'm getting hyped with Ibuka. He might be better than McMillan. I'll do it. I'll speak on it. He might be. I don't think that's out of the question. I don't think that's out of the question.
My computer's chugging. I'm trying to run a filter here to give us Oh, I accidentally did 49. I'm trying to get our total list of
Don't
guys
stress
in
your
this
computer
class.
out too much.
It's thinking.
Okay.
It's at 60%. 70%, 74%. Come on.
Did you
give us
see,
the list.
Did you see Adam Huddle?
Here it is. It's just two. There's only two.
Okay.
Stray at Mel.
Yeah, he thought Stewart at 32 was Mel's. That was hilarious.
So the only guys in this class over 49%, Restrepo and Ibuka.
Yeah, both slot guys. Both were.
That's crazy. Now there's a bunch of guys who are over 50%, even well over 50% for the season, but not for career. Restrepo's at 55% on the season.
Yeah, Strepo is probably going to be one of those who I might get a little nuts with my Strepo comp. I've got a couple that are in my brain. Do I dare?
Well, I mean,
maybe I do dare. I don't know. JJ, do I dare?
Okay, I want to hear because obviously the really goofy thing with Restrepo.
We might have lost you. Oh, no. Hopefully he comes back here.
I'm back.
Okay.
Did you say who your Restrepo comp is?
I haven't said anything yet.
Because the hard thing about a comp for him is the size. He's tiny.
Yeah, wait. So we have the measurement.
I kind of think I know who your comp is, but I think I know who your comp is.
Yeah? Do you?
I think it's Tyreek.
It is not.
Okay, who's your comp?
He doesn't have that gear. There were a few names that came to mind. So the first one was Khalil Shakir. Just because of how built he is and how quick he can be, right? Shakir did a lot of damage from the slot and is currently doing plenty of damage from the slot in Buffalo. The other two that came to mind, I don't think he has quite the speed of these two, but there's a lot of production there that goes, I think, into both of these guys. Elijah Moore and Josh Downs are like two other guys that I think kept popping up with like how comfortable he is playing at the speed he plays.
I mean, you just listed three guys I had massive draft crushes on, so
like,
not hard to talk me into.
Yeah, like I was kind of dismissing it because I'm like, yes, Restrepo, blah blah blah. Do I think he's better than like Ibuka or Golden? No, I don't. But I do. I think there's a great role for him, staring teams in the face that want the guy who's just going to dice people up on option routes. Yeah, I do. If the Patriots ever get tired of Demario Douglas and they want to stay doing that kind of stuff, I mean, he's probably going to be able to do that for you. Especially McDaniels came back, right? Did he? That's the thing. He came back, right?
Josh McDaniels?
Yeah, as OC in New England. Oh yeah, he's gonna love Restrepo for stuff like that. Yeah, he's gonna love if they do a lot of option stuff, still out of the slot. Like,
yeah. What percentage of snaps do you think he played out of the slot this past year?
Restrepo, like 98, 97.
Not quite that high. It's 90.5.
Okay, I knew it had to be a 9. Like he. That's where he does the damage. He's so quick in the short area, so quick. But yeah, the DJ mock actually, yeah. I mean,
DJ mock.
Strep looking nice, but yeah, the DJ mock. I think we all know this. That Green Bay pick, I don't think so.
I have not watched a lot of Hairston. I've hardly watched any Hairston. But I have to admit that I felt disappointed when I saw that. That just felt like
it's riser at corner, fast, right, tough type of thing. Yes, he's 180, but like, he plays bigger and all that. Listen, I don't think Goody's sitting there like, oh, he plays bigger, nice. We'll consider. He might do the thing like, we'll consider that, right? That's we're kind of polite way of saying no. I do think like you look at like. Again, Hardman, Grant, Nolan, all are there at 23, and you're going, no, thank you. I think not, sir. Also, Stewart to 32 for the Philly is just mean. I think that's just very rude to do. And so is Derek Hardman to Baltimore. That's also a rude thing to do. But also, like, that's what happens. That they always do that. It's like, oh yeah, of course they took him because he's still there somehow. Like, just silly nonsense that Philly and Baltimore continue to get away with this. Simmons, the patellar tendon's the concern. He's darn good. I actually think his film is better than what PFF's grades were for him this past year. So, like, again, if he was healthy, we wouldn't even be having this conversation on this channel at all because he'd be long gone. The Jets wouldn't even hesitate, I don't think, at 7. Like, zero hesitation.
But, like, okay, I'm not asking about NFL.
Same with the Patriots, by the way.
How much do you care? Because I just don't give a crap. Because I'm not drafting a guy for what he's going to do in year 1. I'm drafting a guy hoping he's going to be here for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking I'm not asking about NFL teams. How do you feel about a guy who, specifically the injury.
That injury concerns me because of how much I think stress is on that.
So you don't play him in year 1.
No. And I'm not doing the Carolina thing. This is a worse injury than Jonathan Brooks. Carolina got him out there. Listen, I wanted to see him out there, of course. I loved Jonathan Brooks. But we can't have that. That cannot happen in year 1.
I'm just saying you don't play him in year 1.
Right.
You get to the point where you're almost 2 years removed from the injury and have been, letting him recover and develop and train the right way. Yeah. You're getting a bona fide stud.
Yeah. Listen, would I do it? Sure. Yeah. I probably would. I think I can be convinced of that because of how good
if he's there at 23. Right? If he's there at 23,
I would do it.
You pull the trigger.
Yeah. Okay. Because here's what I'd say. Oh, you didn't work out? What are you gonna do? Fire me? Look at Goody's first round picks. Sorry.
Shut up. That's mean. Listen, with that, we're gonna get to our mock draft.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, I mean, the Goody problem has been great. Like, you're telling me you're looking at that guy, and like, I know Brett Coleman just did this. I bookmarked it because I want to see of like the pressure rates allowed by the tackles in the class. You can start this, JJ.
Okay.
We can roll with this mock draft. I was just gonna say Simmons is up. It's like 0.013% pressure rate. That's number 1 in the class. Membo's 2, and then Wyatt Millum is 3rd. I mean, he's so good. So good. So yeah.
So you're saying Simmons had the best pressure rate?
Yeah, he was like the lowest pressure rate allowed.
So
on true drop back passes, by the way, this is RPO screens, all that's all thrown out. This is like true drop back. How you doing?
Here's some guys at 1% in this class. So Simmons, Jacob Gardner. I got this is all offensive.
Yeah, there's no Coleman does
Garrett
not have
Dellinger, Jackson Slater. These guys are all at 1%. Drew
Slater's,
Kendall.
Yeah, Slater's a guard. Kendall's center. Kendall's center. Boston College.
Addison West. West is mostly like a right guard.
Okay. But see, like a lot of these guys are interior
Marcus
guys,
Ware.
And you got Marcus Ware's the interior guy. You got a tackle out there just going, what's up? Like I tackle, like I've got help to the outside. Yeah.
So
Kendall is the BC center, Drew. Yeah.
Okay. There's one other name to consider though.
Okay.
So this guy has played a career 1,938 snaps at left tackle and 1,812 snaps at center. He hasn't played anywhere else. He is at 1%. 1% at left tackle and center.
Have we mentioned his name before?
No. So this would be Jacob Gardner from Colorado State.
Oh, this is Gardner. Okay. Gotcha. That makes it that well. I guess I'm going to go back and not just watch Torrey Horton. It would seem.
I I would say now, I have no idea what his arm length would be. No idea. He's only 6'3". He's 310 pounds.
Oh.
Solidly a guard or center in my mind. I would not mind him at center, frankly.
Is it spelled Gardner like it, or is there no two E's?
There's only one E.
That's why it's not coming up. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, Jacob Gardner, Colorado State.
Gosh, it's even still not coming up.
I mean, there's a non-zero chance that he's not in this draft, and he snuck through on my board.
Jacob Gardner's first 40-yard dash run at the CSU's Pro Day from March 13th.
I have a 40 of 5.1 for him. What do you see?
I haven't seen that 40, but yeah, I'm seeing stuff. Oh, no. Yeah, no. He's here, I think.
I would be interested in him at center. He is row.
Well, I can just look up benefit.
Hold on a second. How did I not put? Here we go. So he is projected. Currently, he's projected 346. So, you can get him late on day 3, probably.
He might be in the PFN simulator.
And this is, I would say, a center with maybe some guard versatility.
Listen,
I would say he's a center with some guard versatility and a history at left tackle. That's a prototype that I would like to see in our room.
Interesting.
That sounds like a Packers pick.
A guy who probably plays on the interior who has tackle experience. Where have I seen that before? Where?
Oh yeah,
who does that?
Who
does that? Yeah, we're all looking for the person who does that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Listen. I am calling it. We have to start this mock draft, sir. I'm pressing start right now. Do you want to do?
I would like to.
This is big thanks to Drew D for sponsoring this mock draft and one next week. Drew or Jake, do we want to do any pre-draft trades?
No. Wait, that's not my. No? Yeah, Drew? Are we trading for Trey Hendrickson? We doing that?
I'm curious. Actually, what would? I think it's Cincy.
Drew also saying the Big 12 Pro Day is tomorrow. Drew says up to us. I think we just roll. We can trade back.
I'm just curious.
It just takes like a 2 and a 4 or something. Like this year's 4, next year's 2. This year's 4, next year's 2 might work.
I'm not giving up a second round pick.
Oh my gosh. No, two 4s. Why is 2? Wait. Can I say something? Why is 2 4s a 0 and then a 3 and a 4 is 100%? There's no in between? That's crazy. 3 and a 4 next year. We're picking in Pittsburgh next year. Who cares? If we don't want to make picks in Pittsburgh.
3 4s has an 8% chance.
Okay, Sonny Weaver Jr. All right. We'll give you our 4th this year.
What a great reference.
And the year after that.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, you do. It's that time of the year.
I'm not giving up a freaking second round pick to pay Trey Henderson, who may or may not be about to hit his stride. I'm not doing
40 a year, 35. I don't know what it is going to be. Yeah, let's roll.
Let's go. I'm not giving up a second round pick for the privilege of paying a guy who might be about to hit his
what
stride.
if Loveland's available? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. What if?
Yeah,
Tyler Warren to the Bears.
To the Niners. Dang it, Will Johnson. So close.
Mecole to the Broncos.
They didn't let us take Steelers. They didn't let us pick Simmons or Golden. That's rude.
All right, so let's see here. Who were the 3 players who we were supposed to look at? It was 3 interior guys, right? Hardman, Nolan. Who was the third guy?
Alexander.
Who was the third guy? Was it Alexander?
Or was it Grant?
So they're all here.
Grant?
I mean,
Grant.
it was Grant. Yeah, it was Hardman, Nolan, and Grant.
Yeah.
Grant, for me, is solidly behind Hardman.
To me, I think it just depends on what you're looking for, right? Like if you're looking for the one tech, if you're looking for the one tech, then Grant's in a bigger consideration. But if you're looking for a 3 tech, like that's not the conversation then. Like we don't have to worry about that. Like that's what I'm interested about with this defensive line conversation is what are they looking for exactly? We don't know. And that's why I think Hardman fits the best almost. Like Pierce, we know.
He is incredibly versatile.
Yeah. Like Pierce, we know, like, it's not big enough, right? Goody made a very strong point about the edge rush room of like, yeah, we want the big guys to defend the run first and then go attack. And like I get it. Pierce is a fine run defender for somebody who's going to play wide 9. We're not doing that. Right? We're not doing he's not getting flanked by a 3-4 defensive end on base downs. Like that's just it's like I just don't think like Scorton could be somebody they're in on.
Yeah.
He could be. I still think that's possible. But like I think when you look at this group and like again, I feel like I'm going to be lower on Burden than most people are, which is totally fine. I'll live with it. I'm rooting for the guy because special yak skills.
By the way, have I mentioned I do not like this edge class at all.
I don't think you're alone.
It's not a good edge class. It does not stack up favorably compared to the last couple of years.
And here's the other issue is like some guys are being labeled as edge players here who I don't think are.
You seeing more like
Savion Jones. Savion Jones is probably a 3-4 end or a D tackle. Elijah Roberts is also at 290.
There's a lot of 3-4 ends in here.
Yes, there are, and that is annoying and really unfortunate. But there are a few guys. Who fit the 4-3 end. Look to them. Tuimoloau probably fits there. Landon Jackson would work. I think you can make Kennard and Scorton work. But your Birch
Sawyer's is clearly a prototypical 4-3 end.
He's got the short arms. Like Hassanin, 270 playing end. That's Green Bay. There you go. We're cooking.
There you go. First round pick, Ahmed Hassanin, rank 129.
No, I think
23. Let me ask you this question.
Well, I know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing.
Have we taken Colson Loveland in the first round on this channel this season? Have we done that already?
I don't know. We did a lot. We did a lot of them last week, and I'm losing. I don't remember what we did last week. Wait,
Drew says he doesn't see Birch as an edge. So we had a conversation about this kind of earlier on in this live stream where we were talking about him as kind of more of like a 3-4 end, kind of a Carl Brooks type.
Ivy?
No.
Or
Birch.
is he talking about Birch? Oh, yeah.
Birch.
Ivy's almost in that same type of thing where it's like, he might be too big, be the 4-3 end, but I don't want him 4-3 DT. It's a very weird, as we said, it's a very weird class. If we only did 3 mocks last week, JJ, we did not take him in the first.
I think 2 weeks ago we did take him in the first. What do you think about Malachi Starks?
Let's push our guy. Push our guy Bullard. Sure. I'm down. I'm in. I can be convinced.
Curious, where is he on the consensus big board?
Green for Vergoody, right? The athletic testing was like in the Branch McKinney, realm of like it's not it's in like it's yellow. Where it's like, he's gonna be good, probably, but Goody will be interested in a second
on the consensus.
So
yeah, that's well put. He's
insane, by the way.
Yeah,
the ball skills are absurd. And the IQ is high level.
Starks, by the way, is consensus 23 on the big board. So there's that for coincidence for you.
Yeah, I think the consensus big board is going to have him lower than where some people will rank him in terms of just building a big board, simply because I think everybody knows that the safety position being valued where it is will push guys down, and also the athletic testing. So I know we've picked him a lot, but like Hardman here just makes sense. It's simple. We know what we're doing. I'm not opposed to going Nolan either. He's got
talk to me about Nolan, because that's actually a guy I have not watched. So there's going to be plenty of people in the chat here who have not watched him either. So educate us on Walter Nolan.
Yeah, so Nolan, I think when you click on him, it's interesting because you get maybe not what you're expecting, JJ, in terms of the pass rush and run stop rates, at least when you just click on his name, right? You'll be like, oh, this is maybe not what I was expecting, per se. Maybe I was more expecting 15 in the pass rush rate and over like, the single digits. But like he plays with, again, ton of explosiveness, right? You can ask him to turn the corner, right? You can ask him to cross face of guys. You can ask him to shoot gaps. What he's, you're asking him to one gap. You ask him to go get guys. He will go get guys. He plays with impressive leverage when he does. When he does kind of sit down, like he has insane power that he can generate in so little time. The one thing is he plays a little out of control and he turns his chest away right at times, and where he's turning his shoulder into guys and where he's not able to counter anything because he's just trying to slant and get to a certain gap. So sometimes he takes himself out of things because he's turning his body. He's not engaging in the way that you should be. But all of the like high level stuff of like playing with leverage, shedding blocks, winning with that pop and power and explosiveness, all of that like is there quite a bit. And the fact that like he is, I think people will be like, well, I didn't see him for a lot of the thing. Watching defensive linemen, guys, is like, I hope he makes a play every 8 plays. Like that's what it is, unfortunately. It's not like, oh my gosh, he's made a play 75% of the game. That's just not how it works. That's what watching edge rushers and defensive tackles is not as fun, because like they could sit and leverage and be in the right gap and the run went the other way. And they're doing their job, but you're like, well, they didn't make a play. It's like, well, they're not always going to make the play. But like I do think like the ceiling is insane here. To me, like the ceiling is like a Geno Atkins type of player, right? I see that vision. But
PFF here says they got him at 6'3", 305. I have him at 6'3" and 3/4 and 296. A little
that's
slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I got him at 4'9", 40. A little bit small hands but nice long arms. What do you think about a 6'3" defensive tackle for the Packers? Trying to pull up where's my note on
yeah, I mean, I think
defensive line
6'3". I'm not as concerned.
6'3" seems to be about the minimum that they typically go, so I guess it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not as worried because I think when he being maybe shorter, but like also like he plays with leverage well. So like I think like as long as he's under control, when he's under control and he's got everything working, he has some better reps and like higher level reps than Graham does personally. But Graham's so darn consistent, right? And that's where Nolan has to build that. He has to build the consistency out to play better, right, at the next level. But the high end stuff is nuts. He has to work on not taking himself out of plays by either kind of exposing himself to easy control by offensive linemen. When I say like there are times where he's trying to cross face and he turns like this, like he's trying to dip around a corner, and he's now taking himself out of the play because there's just no way to get back into position, use your hands, anything to counteract what's going on in front of you. So he does that quite a bit where it's like, okay, this is a little frustrating, but like he can toss people aside, right? And he's just the ability to just win around the corner, cross face, do all this stuff as a pass rusher that you just don't see people move like this, gets you really excited. And I know we've been talking a lot about pick 23, but that's I see the range of outcomes, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, he's just as good as Graham in the league, and like he's playing at an insanely high level, and like, yep, there was always in there, just needed it, or he's inconsistent because he just never put it together down to down, and the highs are high and the lows are low. There's a wide range there, and that's again going to come down to coaching, technique, effort, all of those things to play it.
Frankly, he sounds kind of like a prototypical Packers pick. Kind of freaky athletic, high upside. The consistency just was not there in college.
Yeah. Which, PFF would say that there was plenty because of the grades this last year. Like, PFF thinks the consistency's there. But yeah.
But you're telling me the consistency's not, and I listen to you.
Yeah. PFF's body of work, I think, is showing you like if they're taking the high highs with some of the low lows, and like, especially I think some of the great reps as a run defender, I think it's building his grade out better than maybe what you would normally think of him. Because I think like that's kind of the opposite. Because when you click on Hardman's and you go, my gosh, this pass rush win rate is nuts, right? When you see him, right? And like the run stop rate's solid. And it's like, yeah, he's a better run defender than he's given credit for. But like a lot of the pass rush wins are turning into like, yeah, he's kind of missing tackles. And like he's a little out of control turning the corner, where I feel like when Nolan's turning the corner and like doing what he needs to do as a pass rusher, he feels a little more under control. And
I'm kind of inclined to go Nolan here at pick 23 in our mock draft.
Hey, we haven't done it yet, so it's new. I think maybe people will get bored of us taking Hardman every single time. Maybe they won't. But it is.
I'd like to not be retaking something. Guys over and over again.
Let's try something.
Let's do Nolan here.
Yeah,
I'm getting kind of geeked about him, to be honest. After a lot.
Listen, there's a
lot of stuff
guy
I'm looking at on my board.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy I talked to in the space, I will say, who's like, yeah, I mean, I've had him in my top 5 since November, and I'm not moving him. I'm like, oh wow. He's like, yeah, I'm just way in, and I'm like, based on what I've seen, like the high level stuff, like I understand. I have no qualms. Well,
we're taking.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're taking him at 23 here. Yeah, this is for once the Packers are taking a pick here that people are not going to be calling a reach.
Luther Burden went to the
just to
Lions.
Change things up. I saw that.
Oh, Zarye goes. Oh my gosh,
Chicago.
The Niners got Donovan Jackson. Oh my gosh, dude. What are we doing?
All right. First of all, let me check something here. Travion is right here in the second round. Can I do it?
Know it.
Can I do it? Let me just see who else is here.
You have the controls. Ooh.
Alfred Collins. We just took a defensive tackle though.
Ooh, Braden Swinson. He could take Restrepo for fun. We got done talking about him. We got done talking.
If Restrepo's here in the third round, I say we go
Restrepo. Yo, Green Bay in the third round taking. Hey, this guy's 5'9", 210. We should take. That sounds.
I'll take. Jordan
he's
Birch is
so
here.
Much quicker.
So we got Trey, Restrepo, Birch. I mean, these are all. I don't even hate Josiah Stewart as an option here. Chris Paul. I kind of want to go Trey. Sebastian Castro here. Brian Maffey's favorite.
Who'd you say you want to go?
Trey Henderson.
For me, I think you could do that, or you can take Braden Swinson. I like Braden Swinson.
Hold on a second. Let me look at my. Let's look at the definitive board here. Okay, Mr. Braden Swinson. Little light at 255 pounds.
It's true.
0.47 impact plays per game. He's 22.7 years old. He had a 15% missed tackle rate. It's okay. 19.1% pressure rate. Okay, now we're talking my language.
Yeah. We're cooking right here. Tell him to add 5 pounds.
Oh.
Feel pretty good. You know? Obviously, JT
what is his 2023?
JTT gonna be somebody that, Prince Capsaicin bringing up Tui Moloau. I mean, from what Green Bay is asking of their edge defenders, like, yeah, I understand. I understand.
I mean, JT to me is kind of like the Preston Smith stand-in.
Yeah. Which maybe they want.
And I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just saying, do I want to spend my second-round pick on him?
He can make impact plays. He's proven to make, impact plays outside of sacks, right? Like better athlete probably than given credit for, right? Maybe not as uber twitched up explosive, right, in terms of the athleticism, but like he carries whatever it is, 265-ish, almost 270, like pretty darn well. And the wherewithal to bat passes, pick passes off, like he's got some of that. So like I understand it. It wouldn't be I'm itching to do that here at 54, but like I understand. Yeah, JJ put in the chat Travion Henderson, yay or nay. Yeah, to me it's you go Trey. I like Swinson.
I mean, just imagine
talked into JT.
It's basically Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones together.
And Morrison's here, right?
Young. Adam Huddle says nay on Trey.
Morrison's here.
Morrison?
I think he's in the 60s.
Oh, yeah, here he is.
Morrison's there, too. I mean, find anybody.
We have one nay from Adam Huddle.
Hey,
Drew says nay. Okay, so we're not taking Trey here in the second round. If he's here in the third round, you can't stop me. You can't stop me.
Just trade
Jordan
55.
Trade to 55?
Yeah. Then we could take who the people would like and then take Henderson as well.
All right, here, listen. We got to do this like a GM, all right? We're going to put together our list of guys who we would draft in the second round. If there's only one left,
Drew,
then we pause and trade up.
May I say, Drew, we do have Jacobs. However, you want your Montgomery Gibbs? Do you want that? This is the way. If you want it, this is it. There is another guy later who can kind of do it. But if you want the Gibbs in your offense, it's him. I do agree with Adam. Iomanor is somebody, but I thought like he was.
Giddens? Who are you talking about?
Iomanor's gone. Bashal, man. Virginia Tech.
I thought he already
down
went.
at 187. No, 187. He way down there.
I can tell I spent too much time with you because if I'm expecting him to already be gone by pick 54, that's because I've been spending too much time with you.
What are you? I have never advocated for anyone other than Henderson at running back in the second round. I would like to make that clear. Now, will I advocate for the Virginia Tech kid once we get in the 90s and 100s? Yeah, probably. I will.
Let's put together.
Io is gone. He went too earlier to Seattle. Yeah.
Let's put together our list here of when do we trade up. So, Alfred Collins, we're taking him in the second round?
Wait, sorry. What? Say again?
So we're putting together because we talked about wanting to trade up from the third round.
Oh.
So I'm saying to do that, let's put together our list of the guys who we would draft in the second round, and when there's only one left, that's when we trade up.
Okay. I mean, like
so Alfred Collins. Yes.
I mean, I'd still be in, yeah, kind of. Just
okay. Braden Swinson,
filling the run defense one tech role, and I'm not mad. Yes.
So we got Collins, Swinson, JT, Restrepo.
Arroyo could be fun too.
Where are you at, Jack Sawyer? Jack Sawyer in the second round, yay or nay?
No.
I'm with you. I'm at third round for Sawyer.
Yeah, I feel like I think the reason I'm yes on JT is because of what Green Bay is going to look for. He's got a lot of what they're going to look for.
It's purely just a fit thing.
It is. Yes. Oh yes. Restrepo's not a fit thing. Restrepo's like, that could be fun. I mean, Ursery could also be fun. My goodness. You want this O-line being just a bunch of people who are going to punch you in the face?
You want Ursery in the second round here?
Yeah, I might as well leave him in there. I think it's fun. I'm in with PTA on this. PTA, all those guys, they're big on Ursery. based on where he is in their rankings versus where the especially
What the
where
heck is
PFF has
BTA?
him. Packers Total Access, Clayton and the boys.
Oh, PTA.
yes.
I thought you said
yes.
BTA.
Oh no. But yeah, like that's like I like that. He would be a lot of fun too.
So is there anybody I got to add here? I got Ursery, Swinson, Alfred Collins, Henderson, and Birch. Oh, and Restrepo.
Yeah. Yes,
So that's 6 guys. Do I need to add somebody? Oh, JT.
Maybe Morrison. Oh man, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but like Darian Porter is 100% somebody Goody's gonna like.
Yeah, but do you like him?
I know he's older, but like,
but do you like him?
Supreme athlete of like, hey, maybe we can teach this guy to play corner and he could be good. Do I? Not here.
No, I don't like him here either.
Goody could have 23, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Adam Huddle wants Josh Farmer.
Listen, yes, but do we think? I mean, is that redundant to Walter Nolan? Do we feel like that's redundant? Because the reason I'm bringing up Collins, right, and I know Adam Huddle's bringing this up because Tyleek and Collins both like one text, but we got the juice already. So like Tyleek to me is like, and the reason they're going to draft a guy like Tyleek is because they want the one tech run stuffer type, right? They're not looking for the juice anymore. They want that type of player. So like if they want that type of player, sweet. Then we can start talking about it. I would probably rather have Collins personally, but like that makes sense to me. But yeah, if we're looking purely at like this would be our first defensive tackle selection, I would 100% put Farmer on the list. It's just we've drafted Nolan. So.
Just trying to see if there's anybody we're missing here.
Sebastian Castro would be fun, but we're not doing that. The athletics testing is going to be a big no from our guy, BG. All right. So who are we picking?
I think we got everything. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of players here. Here's our list of guys to pick from: Ursery, Swinson, Collins, Henderson, Birch, Restrepo, Tuimoloau, and maybe Morrison. And the chat vetoed Henderson.
For now.
For now, I'm still in on trading up for him.
We're not picking Henderson yet.
So I don't know. It's not hard to talk me into Ursery. I feel like we have a little more depth at O-line right now than we do at some other positions here.
Yeah, I think Swinson or JTT. If we're picking here.
We have not taken JT.
We haven't. Have we taken Swinson? Have we done that already?
By the way, he's not JTT. He's just JT. Because JT stands for Jalen Tuimoloau.
Sorry.
There's only one T.
See, JT.
You can call him JT Tuimoloau. He does do that. But if you're only going to do just the initials, it's just JT.
That's hard because Justin Thomas, not many people might know. Not everybody knows who that is. But that's always been JT to me.
Okay.
But yes, JT Tuimoloau or Swinson, I think, are guys where I'm like, have we taken? We have not taken
JT before.
Actually, I don't think we've taken Swinson because we've looked more at Kennard at this spot. I think more than Swinson, and Swinson doesn't always make it here because he's on the board. He's ranked higher than Green Bay's second round pick.
So
I'm good either way. I think that's the direction to go. But
well, I'm gonna let you choose because I was the one who pushed hard for Nolan in the first. Okay. So you can choose between Swinson and JT here, and then when there's only one guy left on this list, we will trade up.
The Northern college football fans are going to be very, very peeved that we're going this route. But I'm going to lean Swinson. You are a horrible person. I'm going to lean Swinson here.
All right, we're taking Swinson.
Remember, him. JJ did point this out before of like when the draft comes around, right? We can't let the bias sway us. We must,
That's true.
We must focus on the
prospects. We don't care so much about the Northern thing when it comes to the draft. We care about it when it comes to college players winning games. College teams winning games.
Yeah, we're rooting for these guys. We like these guys as the prospects. This is a jersey thing. Oh, shoot.
Look at that. That was a run right there.
That's interesting.
JT is gone.
That's interesting. The
Trey's
Texans had
gone.
no problem taking a running back with Mixon until.
And Restrepo's gone. So we're down to just 3 guys
Lions,
left. Ursery, Birch, and...
Honestly, if the Lions did this, I think we should all be throwing a party. They have taken Burden and Restrepo. Buddy, your entire defense got hurt last year. What you doing? They literally
maybe they're just compensating for losing Ben Johnson.
They're like, hey, can we get 3 Amon-Ra St. Browns on one team? That's like what are you doing? Listen, I shouldn't be complaining, but like the draft person to me is like, why? Is there still somebody available?
We have 3. We got Ursery, Birch, and Morrison.
Farmer. Here's Ursery. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh, there he goes. There's Ursery. Ursery's gone. We got 2 guys left. So I'm going to take Jordan Birch and Benjamin Morrison, and I'm lower on Morrison than you are.
Is Birch worth it at this point with 2 D-line picks? Are we jonesing to get up there for Birch? I think Birch would have been like, yeah, let's move up.
Right now our edge room right now is Rashawn, Lucas, Kingsley, the Florida guy,
Brenton.
What the heck is his name?
Brandon
or something.
Brenton
Cox.
Yeah.
And Carl Brooks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind adding some bodies to that.
Okay.
I'm going to see what it takes to get up.
It's probably going to take like 2 3s, which is a pain. Oh, no.
It is 2 3s.
I think we just...
A 4 next year and this year
Ugh.
gets the job done.
So much. I like picking the
is.
4th. Will they take 3 4s?
I'd rather give up 4 3s than 3 4s.
Well, let's see if they'll take 4 3s. and also, can we get a 2, please? Just 1.
All right, we're gonna let it roll a little bit longer. We got 2 guys.
I think we just let it go.
So let's just let it go until there's only 1 guy left, and then let's just see who else is available. It won't let us see. Dang it, I forgot about that.
No, it does. It just can't. When you pause it, it won't. Yeah. Porter, Noel, Arroyo, Norman Lott. Well, how long will the fall be? Don't do it. Chicago?
Bears.
Chicago? Oh, weird.
Josiah Stewart to the Bears.
Are they in a 3-4? Dang it.
Ben Morrison. So Jordan Birch, let me just make sure we didn't miss him.
No, he's there. He's still there.
Okay. So, shoot.
3 D-line picks.
It's the 40 frickin' Niners. Let's see. A 4th this year gets it done. 4th next year doesn't quite get it done.
It might get it done. Has a 63% ever worked? Probably not.
I feel better if it was a 69%, but let's try our 4th next year.
Okay.
Offer the trade.
It's probably not. It's going to be red.
They did not take it. So, what do you think? Our 3rd and our 4th this year?
I don't know. I like picking in the 4th. We got things. Wait.
Our 4th and 7th next year get us to 69%.
All right.
They took it.
Wow.
What a meme draft. Birch. I love it.
Wow.
All right. So we're taking Birch
Goody
here.
Is mad serious about this. I think you can accelerate it now. This is wild.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute before we pick again. So we're taking Jordan Birch here.
Wow.
So we went D-line 3 times. Nolan, Swinson, Birch.
We might have to trade a D-lineman.
The only problem I have, of course, is that the offense was booty cheeks this past year. Harold Fannin just went. David Walker. J.J. Pegues. Oh, Jaden Blue just went, and Will Howard. Interesting. So, actually, I'm kind of curious. Who's left here? Quinn Ewers and Kyle McCord and Dylan Gabriel all still on the board with Will Howard gone. That's interesting to me. It's interesting to me. Okay, so we are on the clock here in
I'm sorry,
round
does that say
4.
Does that say we have 28 trade offers?
I don't know what this means because I don't see trade offers anywhere.
You click on the team, so there will be a list of interested teams. Are there really that many?
I mean, that's 3 teams who are not interested. So let's see.
Why do we
want to trade back for some more picks?
Yes.
Let's see who's available real quick.
Who's coming? Who? We can't
get a 4th defensive lineman.
We can't do that.
Torrey Horton.
Torrey Horton would be fun. It's good.
You owe us. You owe us.
Oh.
You owe us a song, Jake.
Uh-oh.
You owe us a song.
I don't remember what the song was.
This was the Daylight Comes and Me One Goes.
Oh,
you were going to write a lyric for us.
That's right. I was.
Are you going to make us wait a whole nother week for this?
I might have to. Listen, last week was last.
You know
week,
what? I'm taking the whole $25 dono from Drew.
That's fine.
For myself, I'm not going
to. That's okay. Yeah, no, I last week was a very stressful week. Did not get around to that. I promise we will get to that though.
All right, I will try and send you a midweek reminder.
Pick here. No, I'll remember this week. I wasn't even home really all weekend.
Your guy Pat Bryant. All right, Quincy Riley. I want to trade back here. Who do we want to trade back with? Who's somebody? So the Bears don't have a lot of picks.
Can we move back the
Vikings don't have
like
a lot
9
of
or 10 spots maybe?
Oh, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are at 8.
The question is
Dolphins about 10.
The question is how many picks do those teams have to move around with?
What do
the Chiefs do not have a lot? That's tough. I don't like that. I need some other stuff.
They're offering us the whole rest of their draft basically.
I need something. I need something before 200.
Let's see what the Dolphins are working with.
Oh.
224. Which is what? That's the 6th round?
Yeah.
They're just giving us a 6th. Picking up an extra 6th to move back 11 spots. That's definitely a gooey move.
Will Jacksonville move up 2 spots and give up like 182? Because I know they have it.
So
or 194. 194? Maybe they'll give it 194.
To move up 2 spots?
Yeah.
No, they won't.
What?
They would only give us 194 to
and 142
to 142. So 194. What was it we were going to get from
226?
the Dolphins?
220.
224. So I'd rather do Jacksonville here, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I like doing business with the AFC.
Yeah.
I say we move back to 142 to pick up 194.
Okay.
All right, let's offer it. All right, they took it. So Jacksonville took Jalen Rivers, tackle. Let's see, Oladeo's gone. Pat Bryant's gone. So we're back on the clock here.
Yes.
Frankly, I wouldn't hate trading back again.
26 offers?
Who would you, if we were going to pick here?
Quincy Riley.
I'm going to slowly scroll through some available guys.
Quincy Riley.
I mean, he's way back there.
Yeah. Also, Kyle Williams.
Here's the thing. We can't take Quincy Riley. We have taken him every single mock draft. Basically.
Kyle Williams got some juice, may I say.
Kyle Williams?
Yeah. He's got some juice.
Washington State wide receiver.
You're going to like this.
2.71 yards per route run. That drop rate is way too low for Green Bay. They're not taking a 6% drop rate guy. You kidding me?
Don't worry. Then we got Ja'Cory Brooks waiting for us later. So, I mean.
So you really like Kyle Williams.
Pretty twitchy player. I mean, he had a pretty good season. 8% drafted by Green Bay? That's crazy. We like that. Isaac Tesla.
Kalen King's brother is sitting right here.
Yeah. Isaac Tesla.
Now, Isaac Tesla, I'm going to tell you right now, he's one of the he is the most packery wide receiver in this draft class.
He's an elite athlete. He blocks too. He does block. They had him in the slot to block at Arkansas. Prince Capsaicin says Kyle Williams met with the team. I mean, did he put together a full RAS card? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, his RAS is 992.
That's funny.
So he's 6'3", 214.
That is hilarious.
Big hands, 10-inch hands.
That's Tesla.
Kind of shorter arms. This is Tesla. 31 and an eighth arms. Smaller wingspan. 4'4", 6'8", 3 cone. That's pretty good. Shuttle was 405.
Yeah.
That's a decent shuttle. 39.5 inch vert.
I think we move back. If we can move back like 8 spots, I feel pretty good.
How's this for a split? 55.6% of his targets in 2024 went for a first down. But in his career, it's 36%.
How many targets did he have last year?
He had 36 targets.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm in on
to
Tesla.
see that.
I'm not.
Listen. I as a like, hey,
he's got crappy PFF grades, so this is as packery as it gets. Elite athlete with crappy PFF grades.
This is the thing. Williams could be interesting. I also O'Donnell Fortune from South Carolina.
Yeah.
I also think there's something there.
So let's see about moving back. Let's see.
I think we try to move back 8 more spots or something like that. About Patriots want to move up.
Patriots don't have.
You're gonna have to give us the rest of that.
Well, I mean, okay, for them to move up 2 spots, they could give us 217.
48%.
48% chance of being. So what if we could swap a 7th rounder for 217?
Good. That looks good. I like that.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Move.
Not picking 2.
But I'm going to say I think this should be our last trade. Like, I don't want to keep trading back after this.
Okay.
Because at that point, we're just kind of being silly.
Yeah.
All right. Brashard Smith and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt just went. So.
Yeah. So I think our next 2 picks are.
I like a Johnny Cornelius.
Yeah. I guess playing guard would help him. His pressure rate is pretty decently high, I think. Yeah, the true pass sets. Yikes. Don't love that in the true pass set department.
Yeah.
But like maybe that gets cleaned up playing guard. I don't know. I like Kyle Williams a good one. O'Donnell Fortune's another good one. Maybe he's still available at 159.
Do you want to talk about O'Donnell Fortune for a second before we draft either him or Kyle Williams?
Yeah, I think. Hold on. Let me search for him.
I like Seth McLaughlin. I had no problems with how he played at Ohio State.
I don't remember how big Fortune is. Might be a little slight of frame, but like instincts are there. Ball skills, catch point work, run D, but I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, that's, well.
High missed tackle percentages in each of his past 3 seasons. That would drive Packer fans nuts.
Yeah.
Let's take Kyle Williams because we spend a good amount of time talking about him. Yeah, let's do that. It'd be nice to go offense here.
Yeah, maybe O-line.
Take another swing here at wide receiver.
Maybe we do.
I am in agreement at going O-line next if we can.
I know. Oh, there goes Huzzy.
What are the
Riley? Darn it!
I missed
we got
this.
some
What
forfeits.
are the 49ers forfeiting from? I remember the Falcons, but why are the
Falcons
49ers
cousins?
forfeit?
Right? Is the Falcons cousins?
Yeah.
Ring? Yeah,
it was. But what was the 49ers forfeit? I don't remember this at all.
Me either.
I still have Grok open from when Brian Maffey told me to. So let's see here.
Apparently, I can't spell forfeit.
Why did the 49ers have to forfeit a 2025 draft pick?
Accounting error?
Grok says,
yeah.
the fifth-round pick, administrative payroll accounting errors. Misreporting of the team's cumulative player compensation. So basically, they were over the salary cap, and the league determined that there was no intent to circumvent the cap. But basically, the NFL decreed that it was just like sloppy accounting.
Huh. Interesting.
So they also, in addition to losing the fifth-round pick, they had their 2024 fourth-round pick moved from 131 to 135 behind the compensatory selections in that round. That's interesting.
So who is this?
Who's who? Who's this pick that we're going to make here?
I think it's funny that the OSU player I like most is the only one JJ doesn't like.
Who do I not like from OSU?
Is that?
I mean, there's a few guys
was that a Sawyer thing saying you wouldn't take him at 54? I don't know.
Well, and I don't dislike Sawyer. It was just my comment was just about JT being a better fit.
Yeah.
For the Packers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's often OSU players I don't like.
I can't imagine they're going near the short arms. But he says he loves JT. Do you not like JT?
I didn't say I don't like JT.
Okay.
I said I like Sawyer better than JT, but then I also turned around and said that JT's a better scheme fit for Green Bay than Sawyer is.
Yeah. Probably not as much as you do, Drew, I imagine. If you're a big fan, if JT is your favorite Ohio State player, then it would probably look like it from that angle. All right, let's check O-line.
I don't the only Ohio State player in this draft class that I'm like obsessed with and want in Green Bay is Travion Henderson.
Heck yeah.
That's the only one.
Count me in.
I lost our draft. Where the heck is our draft? There it is. Okay.
I see our draft.
So
Kobe King could
Trevor
be
Etienne.
Oh yeah, we gotta get
Kobe
corner
King.
too. We gotta get corner. We have neglected it.
Well, Adorno Fortune is still here.
He is. He is still there.
I'm fine doing O'Donnell Fortune, but we did want to look at O-line.
Right. There.
So let's see here. Tyler Cooper,
Logan Brown.
I like Logan Brown. But we've taken him kind of a bunch.
We have. That's true. Jack Nelson could be a kick inside candidate.
I like Jackson Slater.
Same. That would be fun to do. This
so,
assuming we keep Jair. I think it's assuming, probably. Or, well, he's been released.
I assume we're keeping Jair.
But yeah.
I've always assumed that.
Yeah. I think so. Let's go, yes.
You're out on Seth McLaughlin, Jake?
I don't think I'm out. Necessarily.
But you have O'Donnell Fortune ahead of Seth McLaughlin?
Let me see. Probably.
Because I'm taking Logan Brown off of this board because we've drafted him so often.
That's so lame, but that's fair.
But the next player that I'm kind of in on is Jackson Slater. So I'm like Jackson Slater, O'Donnell Fortune, and maybe Seth McLaughlin here.
There are Marcus Ware.
Oh, Ware?
Carson Vincent is somehow still. I don't know why he lasts this long. He's like in the 3 somewheres.
Trey Weeding is here.
Yeah, Vincent's 283.
Carson Vincent. Do you want? Should we take Vincent? We've taken him before.
We don't have to take him now.
Well, who do you want to take?
I think we should take Fortune here. I think there's so many O-line that we're looking at. Like, yeah, we could go that. We could go that.
That's true. This is like the only corner we're really considering.
Yeah, I feel like there's just not a lot of corners left where I'm like, oh, yeah. Because otherwise we're going to be stuck with like Tommy Hill from Nebraska, which is like, meh.
Cody Simon, common guy. Oh, by the way, you asked me last week.
You stopped it on purpose right there because Logan Brown's gone.
You asked me last week.
What did I do?
Is Kyle Monangai fast?
Yeah.
Did you see his RAS card that came back? 429 RAS.
Oh.
His 40 was a 4.6.
That's rough.
At 5'8", he ran a 4.6. He's 211 pounds. His broad jump was 9 feet 9 inches.
Oh, I forgot.
His elusiveness was a meager 89.8.
There's no way Bashal Tootin's still here, right?
He probably is.
I don't think he is. Dang it.
I mean, it would sure be nice.
Oh, we can't even see.
We can't even see. When are we on the clock next?
190.
We're not going to be on the clock for a while. We can't really see.
Hope. See if he's been picked in the 160s. He probably
I'm trying.
was. That's super annoying. I forgot.
I don't see him in the 140s. Quincy Riley's gone. Tootin's not there. Where's Jackson Slater? No, it's Jackson Hollis.
Well, I think we try to wait it out.
Yeah, there were still some linemen that we liked.
We could use a linebacker, Marcus Yarns. No!
Facial just went at 187. Dante Thornton just went. We got. Is it time for us to take Brady Cook here?
Yeah.
Here's our options at running back.
Taj Brooks is a fit. Yeah, JJ did say no more trading. It would have just been nice to know if Tootin was obviously there, but yeah.
I if you had wanted to trade for Tootin, I would have supported you in that.
Darn it. Let's just check O-line. We got to get O-line. Linebacker's a good shout. I don't remember who said
Jackson
that.
Slater, Marcus Ware, Trey Weedig, Carson Vinson. I think those are kind of the guys.
Yeah.
And then you wanted a linebacker as well.
Drew mentioned
Jay Higgins. I forgot we don't like Jay. Teddy Buchanan. You're banned from taking Teddy Buchanan.
We like Jay Higgins. It's just the athletic testing we didn't like.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a tough scene. Jalen Walker is 218 pounds. Is not happening, people. For Indiana.
I'm not feeling these linebackers.
We have 4 picks, though.
I'm not feeling these linebackers here at 194.
Taj Brooks and then Jackson Slater.
Yeah,
that's the move.
Blocking just
we could take Tyler Shuck. Like that would Green Bay would do that. By the way, they would probably do that. But Taj Brooks, I think, is a.
Do you like Ollie Gordon?
I don't mind Ollie Gordon, but I
run a Gaston. Still here.
Yeah, we do that every day. that's
Gadsden
or
every day.
Gadsden.
All right, we'll take Gadsden here in lieu of Taj Brooks. Shay's not bad, you jerk. Tyler Shuck is gone. Look at that. That's interesting. Tyler Shuck.
I can't believe he's still here at 195. Honestly, that will probably not reflect. I truly, I'm almost positive we can get Ware and Vincent at 217, 237 if we take Brooks here. We will not get Brooks at 217. We got
taking Taj Brooks now.
We got to do different simulators. I know this thing too well. We might still get Slater. Nope.
Slater's gone.
Why did I say? I should have said anything.
Just went.
That was my bad. That's Baltimore doing the right thing. Can definitely get Ware.
I need to tackle in here too.
I like it.
All right. We got
Holland Pierce is such a like. Oh yeah, well, Gadsden Gunner's Jake banned from taking him. I am now.
No, you're banned from taking Teddy Buchanan. That's what you're banned from taking.
We did take Gadsden in the NFL mock draft database mock last week, but we did take Birch in that. We did take Birch in that as well. Ware and Vincent are like wow. This is a nice
draft. So where Weedig or Vincent?
Where? I think Ware, if he's going to sit around that 300 to 305, range. I think he's 298 now. Center, possibly. Could be an option. And I think that's why you pick him. Again, not that majors wouldn't be interesting, right, as well, but like Ware just seems to be one of those guys from a smaller from the FCS where I'm like, I'm just so in.
So I don't have like any testing stuff on Ware at all, but so Vincent has a 944 RAS.
Okay. He
has by far the lowest PFF grades of those three guys. Vincent is 6'7". Weedig is 6'6". They're both right around 310 pounds. Actually, hold on a second. So Vincent is 314.
Yes. That was what he was in Mobile, yeah.
Okay. That's not too heavy for Falcons.
No.
Because their cutoff is 321.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember Vincent weighing in and going, oh, that's interesting.
Vincent's hands are almost an inch bigger than Weidig's.
Yeah, 10, and then the 35 and an eighth arm length. 83 3/4 wingspan.
Wait, you have 30 for Vincent, you have 35 and an eighth? I have 34 and a half.
Interesting.
Drew says, in next week's mock draft, pick a guy ranked worse than 400 with your last pick.
Okay.
I mean, we could even do that in this draft, honestly.
Yeah.
So Vincent has played a career 3,400 snaps at left tackle. He's never played a single snap anywhere else in the offensive line.
No, this is the long-term, maybe he's the guy pick this late.
Weedig has played 1,100 snaps at right tackle, 300 at right guard, and 182 at left guard. Much less experience than Vincent.
Both?
Marcus Ware has played 1,000 snaps at right guard and 850 snaps at right tackle. So he's probably a right guard. Weedig
or a
is
center if they think he's.
Well, he plays 0 snaps at center in college, so we're gonna have to teach him.
Right
now, Ware's pressure rate allowed is 1%.
Hey, but if you're teaching Monk,
yeah,
which I know Monk played there. Teaching. But like, I didn't say, Jake. I didn't say I'm enjoying any of the.
Listen, the fastest way to tick me off is to talk about the 2024 draft class.
Can we take both Weedig and Vincent?
I don't know if I want Weedig. 4% pressure rate allowed. Has played fewer than 1,500 career snaps in college, or fewer than 1,600 career snaps in college. His good grades, decent size, athleticism is fine.
Drew Kendall. Could go Drew Kendall. 6'4" and 1/4, 308.
Let me add him to my report here. Drew Kendall. Drew Kendall, 909 RAS, 6'4", 308. Short little stumpy arms, which I don't care about on the interior. That's fine. I like that.
Live.
Nice 505 40.
Yep.
Shuttle 451.
That's interesting.
Give me half a second here.
Yeah, the shuttle and the 3-comb were good.
I have. Okay, 447 is what we're looking for like the really good for a shuttle for offensive line. So that he's not close on that. Because he's what 451, so he's a little bit off from that. He played every snap of his college career at center. That's almost 2,400 snaps. Pressure rate allowed of 1%. I don't know. I could get behind this.
Yeah.
I could get behind this. All right. I say I say we should have the
Vincent-
chat weigh in.
Vincent-
I mean, these are the
Vincent
four
and
guys we're
Kendall?
thinking about.
Vincent and Kendall.
Vincent and Kendall. I mean, I'm not out on Ware.
Oh yeah.
I kind of, but if we have the options of taking, Vincent or Ware, I'm not really interested in Weedick. If those guys are both gone, then sure, I'd be all about Weedick.
Okay.
But Kendall, Vincent, and Ware, I think are the three guys that I'm looking at here.
I know Prince kept saying Asa Pole met with the Packers.
I can add him to my report here. I cannot add him to my report here for some reason.
That's fine. Let's stick with those three.
He's not on my board. I got to add him to my board.
Let's stick with those three. I think it'd be nice to have Vincent as one of those two picks, just because that's a tackle. For sure.
Would you rather have Vincent or Kendall? If you can only guarantee one, you can only guarantee one.
Vincent.
All right, we're taking Vincent
More
here.
important position, but they're in the 280s. Where
So
might
this
be
is our
gone.
last. This is our last pick here.
Yeah, Ware might be gone before we pick, but I don't think Kendall will.
Oh, Luke Lachey.
Looks like none of them are. Looks like they're all there.
Now we're supposed to take somebody in the 400s, though.
Is that even possible?
It's not possible on this.
Yeah, so we'll have to do it on PF.
I'm sure we could manually go look up who's in the 400s on Mock Draft
possible.
Database,
It's
which
true.
is what I care about more. You want to take Kyron Lacey here?
No. I don't think so. I know who I want to take, but I'm not allowed to.
No, you're not allowed to. Teddy Buchanan. Prince Capsaicin says Teddy's on top just to taunt Jake.
It is true. That is facts.
300s?
Right.
What about this one? Who would you rather take?
I like
with
this.
with your seventh
Drew,
round pick. Kyron Lacey or Jordan Hancock?
Jordan Hancock. Dan Jackson.
Dan Jackson is a good player.
Yeah. But we probably need more. I mean, Marcus Ware is a good player. The 1-2 punch. I think we should do this, Drew. I think we should press to the 400s
Kendall's
next
288.
week. We should actually have to do that next week in the 400s.
Well, we're going to have to cross-check it with Mock Draft Database to find somebody who's in the 400s there because PFF Sim does not go to the 400s.
Well, PFNs does. So
yeah,
I think we got to take Ware.
Elijah Ponder.
I think it's too good. It's too much fun to take Vincent and Ware in the
But
7th
Kendall's
round.
still here, isn't he?
He is. Maybe we should do Kendall. It's new and fresh.
Let's do Kendall.
Let's do
Kendall.
I agree.
Final pick.
Yeah.
If we're not taking Dan Jackson, then we take Drew Kendall. Let's see here.
Yeah.
So we went defensive line 3 in a row, then wide receiver, cornerback, tight end, running back, tackle.
Listen, you got to take advantage of the running back class. Be silly not to.
I'm good with taking Drew Kendall here. Let's do that. We're taking Drew Kendall.
Boston College connection.
Print it.
As Drew says. There you go.
Yeah, we like BC. We like
Print
BC.
this one. Couple trade backs, Goody style of we don't have that many picks yet. This is the Goody Classic. We will end up with more picks. You'll see.
Oh, you can take that one to the bank.
2 A's on day 2. That's Goody. Orante Gazabig a D-. I just don't understand why he's ranked 226. He might end up higher than Fannin for me. So I don't get that. I don't get that one bit.
That was fun. Drew, thank you so much for sponsoring that. Yeah. Like I said, we will
another one probably.
Yeah, we'll get you another one next week. Maybe we'll lead off with that.
Technically, he did 25, right? So that's 2 7-rounders and a 3-rounder.
That's true. We could do a 7th and a 3rd, or a 7 and a 3
next week.
I'm in for that. Let's do it.
Yeah. We got to. We've got the dodo. So we got a B. That's fine. We'll take that. Nolan being a C+ is weird because that's a need, and he's right around the number. Very strange Don't understand that thought process. If it's Hardman, I don't think it's a C+.
Well, this was yeah.
But I mean, 3 defensive.
Yeah,
linemen.
I mean, I think it just comes down to PFF liking Hardman better than they like.
Also, they always say like you took this guy when you should have taken Pierce. Like they always do that with Green Bay's spot at 23 because Pierce is always there, and he's ranked higher than everybody else we pick. So they're like, you should have taken Pierce here, and it's like, I got news for you. Pierce would be playing off-ball linebacker in Green Bay at his size. Like, so that's the only deal. That's why it's C+. They're like, listen, you need to follow what we want you to do. Should have taken Luther Burden, like the Lions. 5 out of 9 in the trenches is where we want to be.
Well,
beef early and trenches all day long.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Where you want to be.
Before we get out of here, I remembered something that I was supposed to mention. 2 things I was supposed to mention at the top of the show. Okay. One was somebody put together a 68 team college football playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
Which was amazing. So I wanted to give that a shout out. And then the other thing was that, Jake, how did you celebrate yesterday's holiday?
How did I celebrate it? Watching some wide receivers, some day 3 wide receivers.
So
and recovering from a lack of sleep and exhaustion from the weekend.
So my 2-year-old daughter could not be convinced that it wasn't St. Packers Day.
Oh.
Because we had everything all in green and gold. And so she kept carrying her football around the house and throwing it and yelling touchdown, go Pack go. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to give her a shout out for celebrating in the best possible way.
Nice. That's fun. Maybe Ed Policy will make it St. Packers Day when he takes office.
I like that you say when, year. Not if.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. When he takes office. Well, here's a fun little nugget also for the end of the show. Green Bay Packers had a scout at the Syracuse Pro Day. Interesting. Considering Green Bay we have picked Oronde Gadsden right here.
But it's not Gadsden. That's not who they're watching. They're watching the dude I hate.
LaQuint Allen or Elijah
No, they're
Clark?
watching the dude I hate.
McCord.
Yeah. They're going to take freaking McCord. You're just
hoping they don't.
I loved McCord in high school.
We're almost then he got 3 hours, JJ. Do you know that?
I know. I'm trying to wrap it up, and you won't let me. Listen. I'm removing my hat for respect, okay? Hand over your heart. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This has been a freaking blast. Appreciate you. But it's happened again. You've wasted 3 perfectly good hours watching us here on Derailed. The heck is wrong with you? Love you so much. We'll see you back here next week. And in the words of the late, great Mr. Ed Policy, go Pack go.